Now, a severe weather update. Here's Brian Thomas.
And here we are at 5:52 this afternoon on Talkin' West Tennessee. Let's bring you up to date on what's going on, as we've been expecting this to happen throughout the day, as we talked earlier this morning. Let's go straight over here to the radar for just a second and bring you up to date on the tornado warning here. There is a tornado warning at 5:45. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Ripley. It was moving off to the northeast at 45 miles per hour, and something new is coming in here in just a moment, so let's check up on this as well. That's a flash flood warning. We'll get to that in just a minute. So let's continue here. Locations impacted in this tornado warning include Dyersburg, Ripley, New Bern, Halls, Chestnut Bluff, Bradleytown, Unionville, Eaton, Friendship, Gates Community, Trimble, Yorkville, Edith, Folks, Lapata, Bonaccord, Central, Locust Grove, Jenkinsville, and the Maxey community in Dyersburg. Also, other Tipton County and Shelby County is also under a tornado warning at this hour as well. As we've been pushing a few buttons here and trying to get some things going on, let's switch over to the other radar and tell you about what we're looking at here. And, tornado, pretty much most of Dyer County is taken up. If you draw a line up Highway 51 from where it enters Lauderdale County all the way up to Trimble, that's your first tornado warning right there. Another one in behind that coming in from Tipton County as well, as we put two things side by side here and bring up some wind speeds here. It's kind of broad. The storm activity is kind of tapered off for most of West Tennessee for most of the afternoon, and then we're hitting this pocket of air that has what they call where the cap comes off. And so we're looking at in the Gates and Halls community just to the west of Highway 51. That's about to cross the Highway 51 4-lane into southern Dyer County. So that would be the Bonaccord community and the Beech Grove community where this is moving into here, gang. And the Folks community as well. This is moving off to the northeast, by the way. So if you are keeping an eye on this, once again, this was about 10 minutes ago. This warning actually came out. It goes until 6:30. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Ripley. It's moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. And if you look at that from, it says near Ripley, it would have been to the north of Ripley when that took place. So the southernmost tip of that particular part of the storm, like I said, you're looking at some pretty strong winds here as we were looking at the, we're up above 80 miles per hour wind gusts on the southern part of this storm, 85 right there. As you look across, and that's just winds coming out of one direction. That's not counting the ones that are blowing towards the radar or away from the radar weather. Excuse me there. Yeah, 85 right there, 62 on that part of the storm. And right here where it's actually coming together, we're seeing a couple little notches in this storm. Folks community between Highway 51 and Highway 412. That would be just to the southeast of the Dyersburg Airport. Beech Grove community, once again, if you happen to be living out here in this neighborhood, Highway 210 between Halls and South Fork, that would be between Halls and Folks community there. Everybody needs to be in their shelter at this point. This was a radar-indicated tornado, by the way. National Weather Service issued this at, okay, we have an update just now. Tornado warning remains in effect until 6:30. For northwestern Crockett, eastern Dyer, northwestern Gibson, and northeastern Lauderdale counties. This was 3 minutes ago. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Unionville or 8 miles south of Dyersburg, moving northeast at 45. Again, locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm: Dyersburg, New Bern, Halls, Chestnut Bluff, Bradleytown, Unionville, also Eaton, Friendship, Gates community, as we said, Trimble, Yorkville, Folks community, Lapata, which is, that's East Dyer County, and up around the Tatumville community there, Lapata and Churchton, Bonaccord, Central, Locust Grove, Jenkinsville, Maxey, Rehoboth, So Rehoboth, we're talking about Highway 104 between Dyersburg and Tatumville there, and also the Curry community. This is a tornado warning, radar indicated with hail, about 3/4 inch size hail. This tornado warning goes until 6:30, so another 30 minutes here. Coming up on 5:57 here, this is WNWS Jackson, WDXI Jackson. And you're listening to 1310 AM, 103.5 FM, 101.5 FM, and 96.5 FM. Online at WNWS.com, where you're getting your tornado warnings and updates and information here this afternoon. Here at 5:58, tornado warning continues for there. If you have neighbors over in the Tipton County community, let's bring you up to date on that one. This tornado warning came out at 5:46, so roughly 12 minutes ago. And this tornado warning covered counties in eastern Arkansas and also Tipton and Shelby County. A severe thunderstorm at 5:46. That thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Crawfordsville. That's near Earl, Arkansas, moving northeast at 60. So folks in the path of that storm include Bartlett and West Memphis, Marion, Millington, Earl, Meeman, Shelby, Forest State Park, Memphis, Lakeland, Arlington, Montford, Crawfordsville, Edmondson, Sunset, Jericho, Jeanette, Fraser, Dixonville, Tipton, Crittenden, and Atoka. That's another tornado warning that goes until 6:30 as well for Tipton and Shelby County. It's really somewhat unorganized, I guess I should say, a little bit, because there's quite a bit of rain in behind this as well. We see some severe starting to crop up just to the in the Boot Hill of Missouri, just to the south of Caruthersville, as part of that other storm that's passing through Dyersburg. Dyersburg getting pounded with rain right now. The city of Dyersburg, that's off on its way up the road to New Bern and through the Roellen community. And again, that would be Lapata and Churchton, and on its way to Trimble. You'll be seeing that here in just a short time. Again, this is moving off to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So it's taken its time, driving itself up the highway here, so to speak. So again, that tornado warning continues for Crockett County. Bring it up one more time for Crockett County, Gibson County, Dyer County, and a northern portion of Lauderdale County until 6:30. This is a tornado warning, radar indicated tornado. And same for the Tipton County, Shelby County tornado warning that's also out there as well here at 6 o'clock. So we have 30 minutes left on these tornado warnings. And keeping an eye on this, we do see quite a bit of, let's get down to that community there. That's just to the west of Beech Grove, to the south of Folks community and the South Fork and Poplar Grove community. We're seeing a drop in the radar right there, which is indicative of some rotation going on in this part of the storm. This is southern Dyer County in the Folks community. So that's Highway 210 that runs from Highway 51 South Dyersburg all the way over to US 412 toward the Friendship community and Tigrit. Again, this is a tornado warning for Dyer County and Dyer County and Gibson County, Crockett County, and the northern portion of Lauderdale County, which it's passing just to the north of Halls. At this point, we have a 95 mile per hour wind gust right there, according to the radar. That says 100 there. So we're getting a couple of different items reflected back on the radar. We're going to take a look at another picture here and see how much of a drop we have in the radar there. And that would put us right over that would be just to the north of the Halls Airport. That's not the center of the rotation of this particular storm, but it's awfully close, gang. Hang in there. There is some rotation here in this tornadic thunderstorm in the south part of Dyer County, which will move across the northern portion of Crockett County and will pass into Gibson County, into the Bonaccord community up Highway 412 and across Tigrit and Roellen. Okay, the radar is updated one more time. Now we really have serious flooding conditions coming down on East Court Street, downtown Dyersburg right now. And that is going to maintain intensity for just a little while longer. Again, this is a tornado warning. We're just keeping you up to date here. Between Dyersburg and Roellen along Highway 104 in the southern middle portion of Dyer County here, that's where this tornado warning is going at the moment. Where is this thing going soon? Well, We can track that actually for you. So let's do that. We'll bring this out here forward and give you an idea of where this is going to end up. Roellen, any minute now. Rehoboth Community, 5 minutes. Tatumville, it'll be there at about 10 minutes. Lapata Community, 12. Neboville in 14 minutes. So we're already into western Gibson County, Churchton, Yorkville, the Curry Community. Cool Springs in about 20 minutes. Tillman, Tyson Store, Dyer in about 23 minutes. This is rather broad on the storm because, the cone goes a little bit wider as the further out you get. But again, this is moving on estimates at 45 miles per hour. So this is moving off to the northeast. Kenton, Rutherford, you're looking at about 30 minutes. China Grove, I won't get too far out from there, but just kind of giving you a heads up. Mount Pelia Community, which Mount Pelia Road, as we saw on social media, is underwater out there between Reeves and Mount Pelia Community. Sidonia and Greenfield, you're looking at about 40 minutes before this storm actually reaches us into southern portions of Obion County and into Weakley County. Back to the tornado warning at hand right here. The National Weather Service in Memphis has issued a tornado warning for Dyer County and for Gibson County and for the northern portion of Crockett County. We'll rewind 10 minutes here, the tornado warning update. They say it remains in effect until 6:30 for northwestern Crockett, eastern Dyer County, northwestern Gibson, and northeastern Lauderdale counties. Let me switch off to a different screen here, and I'll bring it up on the other one over here. So this is this is the Tipton and Shelby County tornado. At 6 o'clock, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Jericho or near Meeman Shelby Forest State Park, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. That tornado warning will continue there. That's radar indicator rotation there. Up to the Dyer County tornado. Let's stop this other radar for just a second and focus in on that because it's in quite a bit of motion. We're having at least 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, showing a number 6 tornado signature on this particular storm. It's now in the Folks Community and Roellen, and that would be along the US 412, the Highway 412 that runs between Crockett County and Dyersburg. So coming in still the northern portion of Crockett County. Now our tornado signature is showing some strong rotation, a TVS level 7. So the number keeps going up. This storm is intensifying according to Doppler radar here. So folks in East Dyer County, Roellen, Newbern, folks in West Gibson County, Yorkville Community, Lapata, Churchton, and also Tigrit out there in this particular area, the Tigrit wildlife area. Take cover now. This is a tornado warning that goes until 6:30. Again, this is for Dyer County, western Gibson County, a good chunk of northwestern Gibson County here too, and the northern portion of Crockett County. And we could probably say that the tail end of this storm is actually ending in the southern portion of Dyer County. But people in Friendship and people in Tigrit and Eaton and these areas here, don't let your guard down. They're still showing some pretty intense activity going on with this tornado warning that's passing through West Tennessee this afternoon. So let's bring you up to date on what's going on one more time. We get another idea of things that's taking place here. Zoom out a little bit. This is Dyer County here. This is Yorkville, Rutherford, the city of Dyer, Newbern. Everybody should be in their storm shelter right now, taking cover, or at the Tatumville, East Dyer County Fire Department. And, I've noticed this afternoon that several tornado shelters have been opening up. I know the one in Weakley County. Those in Weakley County have been opening up. The courthouse has opened up. Also in Martin, the adult center on Lindell Street in Martin has opened up. Weakley County EMA has published that. So the tornado shelters are open in Weakley County. And your typical tornado shelters should be open anyway because we've kind of been planning this last day or two. So your local EMA folks. Let's get you up to date on the Dyer and Gibson County tornado warning. We just received another update. Let's take a breath for a second. Okay, so the tornado warning for northwestern Crockett and northeastern Lauderdale counties is canceled. It's moved out of the area. Let's update you here at 6:07 at 6:06. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Dyersburg, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. We maintain radar indicated rotation here. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Tree damage is likely. Mobile homes damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. It's going to happen. Let's update the folks who's going to be in the path of this. I'm just going to tell you. New Bern, Trimble, Yorkville, Roellen, the complete list. Dyersburg, New Bern, Bradleytown, Trimble, Yorkville, Bishop Community, Folks Community, as we were talking about. Lapata. Some of you don't know where Lapata is. That's between Churchton and Tatumville. Bonaccord, Locust Grove Community, Jenkinsville, Maxey Community, Rehoboth, Templeton Community. That's almost to Trimble. Curry, Tyson Store, Edgewood Community, Middle City, Poplar Ridge, and Churchton. So the entirety of East Dyer County is under the gun right now, with some pretty strong rotation showing up on radar at this hour. Kind of a frightening feeling. We saw this, last time we really saw this was kind of back maybe almost 2 years ago, possibly something similar set up here. So that is the tornado warning. It continues for Dyer County and into Gibson County. If we check we go between two maps here, checking a couple of things here. Just at the south of Roellen Community right now. Let's put up the side by side here and check out the what we're seeing on the radar as far as the winds go. The winds is going to be the telltale sign here. We'll get it pulled up, and the drop in the winds. So there's a little bit of a drop here just to the south of New Bern, and this would be in the neighborhood of, actually inside the city limits there. It's pretty broad storm gang, but the inflow of this is to the east, would be towards the Churchton community. Now this, 45 miles per hour in a straight line is pretty fast movement. So about Highway 77 between Yorkville and New Bern is where we're looking at where all the winds are getting sucked in right now. And we're still showing some inflow there and some pretty strong rotation, and there's a good drop in that right there. If you're in West Gibson County, East Dyer County, get in your shelter now. That's where you need to be. Tornado warning for these two counties. Yorkville Community, Churchton, Lapata, Neboville, pretty broad right here. Tillman, Tyson Store, and Newell communities. Hopewell Community in Gibson County. Cool Springs and Fairview, you're next. This is along Highway 105 and Stringtown and the Trimble Highway and the Yorkville Highway here too. As we're kind of looking at this activity moving across, and the best thing we can do is track it and keep you up to date here, gang. That's rather kind of how this works out. We can see where the winds are, and we can see where the rotation is, and it's a pretty chunk of I should say a pretty big chunk of inflow here just to the west of Yorkville. So this again would be Highway 77. New Bern is getting a ton of rain right now between New Bern and Trimble along that's Highway 210 that runs between there and Highway 51 4-lane. And eastern and portions of northeast Dyer County under the gun. Again, that's where we sit right now. That's the main tornado warning. Again, there is another one we're going to talk about back down in Tipton County here in just a little bit. This one is a little bit closer to our listening area, so we want to stay on top of this for a little bit longer here. Again, where we're looking at the inflow notch, and we'll switch over on the other radar over here as well. This inflow notch here along Highway 105. That would be Highway 105 and Highway 77 are somewhat parallel in Dyer County and Gibson County. So in the Yorkville community and Hopewell out here, these rural communities, and just to the west of Highway 45W, that's Rutherford and the Kenton community, and Fairview, Tillman, Tyson Store, and Cool Springs, get in your tornado shelter. Newell community, again, Yorkville, you're under the gun. Churchton, you're seeing it right now. These are areas that need to be in their safe rooms and their shelters. Mason Hall, we don't want to leave Mason Hall out. You're here too. Kenton, Macedonia, and Christian Chapel. We're going to be getting into. It's just a rock throw between Dyer County and Weakley County. This storm is going to be into Weakley County at some point soon. There is no tornado warning for Weakley County. There is, however, for Gibson County and for Dyer County right now. Eastern Dyer County is under the gun at the moment. Let's see. Let's look at other warnings around the region. Actually, we go back to our other map and we see that this rotation, now we're seeing a strong couplet along Highway 104 to the east of Rowan community, which means this is Tatumville. So this would put a good chunk of the wind right here, in Tatumville. That would be Edgewood, Lapata community, Churchton. So we're still in the same area here, just to the in the Yorkville community, in the general community here, and about 5 miles out to the west and the south of Yorkville. That's where this tornado rotating thunderstorm is. Again, it was indicated by radar. Let's see if there are any updates. There's no updates as of yet. Let's see. There's new tornado warnings out now for Hopkins and Muhlenberg County in Kentucky. It's a little far away for us to track. Mississippi County, not Missouri, Mississippi County, Arkansas, Shelby County, and Tipton County. Your tornado warning continues until 6:30. Let's check on you guys for just a second. This was about 2 or 3 minutes ago. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Dixonville. That's 8 miles north of Meem and Shelby Forest State Park. Moving northeast, now that storm at 60 miles per hour. Again, this is a radar-indicated rotation on this tornado. Millington, Meem and Shelby Forest State Park, Munford, Dixonville, Tipton, Atoka, Gilt Edge, Shawnee, Quito, Wilkinsville, Cuba, Pecan Point, Drummonds, Crosstown, Kerrville, Randolph, and Sloanville. All of these folks in this would be in particular in Tipton County and Shelby County, if we're looking at that particular storm down there. And several areas of rotation there coming back into, and I don't want to leave out the severe thunderstorm warning, but there is another severe thunderstorm warning, and now that is for Lauderdale County. They just had the tornado warning. But along this line that's passing through West Tennessee, crossing the Mississippi River at this hour, there are two good pockets of rotation in Lauderdale County, and these would be in the Tomato community and near Ashport. I have to switch back over to the other radar for a second to get a zoom on that there. Okay, so let's check out. That would be the Tully Wildlife Management Area, Garland Community, Gold Dust, Fulton, not Fulton, Kentucky. This is the Fulton community in Lauderdale County. Burleson and, again, Gilt Edge. Now, that's part of an active tornado warning down there. We were just talking about pockets of rotation in this line of thunderstorms that indicate it's a tornado signature to the west of Ripley. The ARP community will be under the gun of this. Central and Henning community here, all of these along Highway 19, and that is going to be in Lauderdale County there. Now, back over to Dyer County, where we still have some pressing activity to talk about over there, and we'll park the radar on that one for just a second. Let's go back up to Dyer County here. We're looking at we're getting some pretty good winds out of that one right there. Of course, that one is a little bit behind. Let's see what we can bring you up to date here where this rotation is taking place. Okay, Rowan. We still have a couplet here in Rowan. Now, that's going to be moving. Again, that's still moving across the Tatumville area. It's going to be into Yorkville here in no time. I'm not sure where let's see, that was just updated 3 minutes ago. Let me switch over to a different product and we'll get that updated here. Okay, so we're, still in the same, kind of on the Gibson County, Dyer County line. If you ever look at Dyer County, there's a notch in the eastern portion of it. That's where you need to be looking right now. That's where this particular storm is. And we'll even bring that up on the other radar that's over here streaming. That would be, they call it Forks of the River. That's still along Highway 104, but that's particularly Tatumville and Nebo community and Yorkville and Hopewell, which puts Newell and Curry still in the path of this storm. Anybody's going to get some hail and going to get some high winds out of this for sure. But the particular center of the rotation is going to be put in this particular neighborhood here. Now back over to the other radar product that we were talking about a minute ago. That's the velocity product. We need to tilt it up just a hair. So That's going to put you in those communities once again. Still in the Yorkville community is where we're seeing the majority of this rotation. So now this is falling out of line with the Memphis radar. We're going to have to switch to the Paducah to get a better eyeball of it. Okay, let's do this. Now we can see what we're doing here. Rutherford, you're in line for this next. Dyer, you're going to get some activity out of this as well if you live in the KenTenn community. If you live in the KenTenn community, then you need to, y'all need to be in your shelter here. You're not inside the polygon, but that does not mean you do not, that does not mean that, you're going to be out of the gun of this. We're standing by to see if this thing is going to persist further into Gibson County. And so far, everything is showing that this is holding true. Again, we're waiting for word from the National Weather Service. So that's kind of what we're doing here. If you have any damage, don't give me a shout. Save your calls if your power's out, I guess is what I'm saying. If you see some damage, ring in to us at 731. This is a special phone number for this, okay? 731-242-2025. That's 731-242-2025. It'll call into the weather office here. If you have some kind of damage or you have something to report to us, something significant across West Tennessee tonight, if you happen to be listening, again, we're streaming at WNWS.com, also at WestTN.com, and we're holding with this pattern as long as we have tornado warnings within the listening area. Border to border, river to river, we're going to try and take care of everybody who has an ear. So yeah. Absolutely, I'll do it. And that's what we're going to do there. So we're going to stay right here with this. Again, tornado warning. Let's see if we can get an update on this. This is 6:06. Still some old information. I think what they're trying to do is let this thing expire. And looking here, the couplet is still there. Well, now the couplet has disappeared. But we still see a pretty good notch of inflow of wind on the east side of the storm, which would be in the western portion of Gibson County, if you're tracking along with us tonight. So that would put the inflow around KenTenn right now, Christian Chapel, Macedonia, in these areas. As we check a couple other things right here. Again, we do have active tornado warnings in West Tennessee. If you do happen to be tuning in to us this evening, be sure to hang with us, because if it's going to affect your area or anywhere else, across West Tennessee, heading up through the KenTenn area, we're going to take care of it right here this evening. Let's see what we have now. We still have that same tornado warning for Dyer County and Gibson County. All righty. And we're talking about folks, our friends in Yorkville and our friends in, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Let's see what we're doing right here. We're going to take, if this thing will expire for just a second, we're going to take a second and catch up here. It's 6:21. You're listening to Talk in West Tennessee and our weather network here. Tornado warning continues for Dyer County. If you're watching elsewhere here, 6:06. Again, that's old information. They have not updated the tornado warning, and the pocket of the rotation would be closer to, if you draw the triangle out yourself on the map, Rutherford, Yorkville, and Dyer communities. Okay, so that's what you're looking at right now: Rutherford, Yorkville, and Dyer communities, where the majority of this. A lot of lightning too in here. I want to add to that, and still there's some drops. There's some drops in reflectivity inside this storm, showing that there are some pretty serious pockets of rotation still in here. Even though the couplet's not showing up on one radar, we can see stuff on a different radar picture, and it's real indicative of what's going on out there. Let's see. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming out. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for pretty much the same area that we were just talking about. We're going to let that continue for just a minute. It's 6:22 now at Talk in West Tennessee online again at TalkIn, it's the letter N, TalkInWestTN.com, and also online at WNWS.com. I'm Brian Thomas. We'll catch you back up here in about 90 seconds on Talkin' West Tennessee. It's wall-to-wall coverage of tornado activity across the listening area across West Tennessee this evening. 6:22, back in a minute.
Hum, click, tick tock tick. It's a shower of sound. Pop, bang, cling, clang. In every hour or so. Words fly fast, people listen and turn their heads around. Radio, radio, you've got the power of sound. Stand tall, say it all, with the power of sound. A fast pace, a marketplace, that's the power of sound. You open ears and pocketbooks, you really do astound. Radio, radio, you've got the power of sound. Radio, radio, you got the power of sound. Radio, the power of sound. Radio, the power of sound. Radio, radio.
624, Talkin' West Tennessee. You're listening to 101.5 FM WNWS, 1310 WDXI in the city of Jackson, 103.5 FM, and at 96.5 FM Parker's Crossroads. Here we are. I'm Brian Thomas. We're back here in the Weather Center trying to see what's going on, and there's a lot going on. And let's try to get you brought up on everything here. It's 6:25 at this particular moment. And we had a tornado warning, which continues for another 5 minutes. This is for Gibson County and Dyer County. They have not updated this tornado warning, they being the National Weather Service. They're trying to allow this to expire. And alarms and dings are going off, which includes a local area emergency. I do not have the complete text on this, but this is for Lake County, Tennessee. Let's see if I can bring it up somewhere.
State Park, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. Hazard, 50 miles per hour with gusts and quarter-size hail.
It's not particularly what I was looking for. That's for the severe thunderstorm warning. And again, we'll get to that in just a minute. Our emergency alert system is all over the place, so pulling double work here. But I don't have the information on this. It's in a local area emergency for Lake County. But we'll soon figure that out. Okay, that's one of those things that does not show up on the radar picture that you just click on that. So let me try another thing here. Maybe I can get access to that. There's all kinds of buttons to push to make these things happen. Okay, so the tornado warning for Dyer County has been dropped 4 minutes prior to its expiration. Now that's a good sign. That means it wasn't necessary to carry it past or carry it up to 6:30. And, to me and the average person, anybody else on the street, that means that the thing is weakened a little bit. And that's good news, right? Let's see if we have something else coming in here. I'm not entirely sure that we would. But if we do, I'm still curious about this local area emergency that has been National Weather Service put it out. I have the notification for it, but it does appeal to folks in Lake County and Tiptonville and up through this area. So we're gonna find out most Ricky Tick what's going on here in just a minute. When all of this information starts coming into us. 6:27. That's our time. That's Talking West Tennessee time right here. And we'll pull this up here if it will allow us to. It did not allow us to. Okay, that's all right. We'll stand by and wait. Again, let's bring you update on the severe thunderstorm warning. And you probably heard this a little bit ago. It's probably cut us off, and that's okay from time to time. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, which is supposed to, I'm trying to see where it is. It's 6:26. Oh, this is brand new. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 7 o'clock. Crockett, eastern Tipton, southwestern Gibson, central Lauderdale, central Haywood, and northwestern Madison counties. At 6:26. Let's see. At 6:26. It moved on me. At 6:26, a severe thunderstorm was located near Covington. This is moving northeast at 65. They say ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's what we're showing right now anyway. That's what it's reading anyway. So that's what we're getting from the National Weather Service there. And if we happen to head over here to something else and check out one more piece of information, give us just a second to do such. Yeah, it's ping pong ball size hail. That was reported by trained weather spotters rather. It was reported by trained weather spotters at 6:23. Golf ball size hail was reported at Richardson Landing. People and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail damage to roofs, siding, windows, and vehicles. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Okay. Locations impacted include Brownsville, Covington, Ripley, Fort Pillow State Park, Montford, Brighton, Alamo, Bells, Halls, Nutbush, Fork Deer, Fulton, Chestnut Bluff, Belle Eagle, Holly Grove, Adair, Fort Pillow, Eaton, Atoka, and Henning. A tornado watch remains in effect until 10 o'clock for West Tennessee. Remain alert for possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly. Essential is what they're saying there. Still, pockets of rotation in the line of storms that's coming down the pike here. Let's see. We have, are we routed up here? I need to get a confirmation on the audio routing situation. That's very interesting there. Okay. So that's the severe thunderstorm warning that we were talking about. If it sounds a little bit confusing, it is because we had a tornado warning for Dyer County and Gibson County. We still have what shows to be rotation on radar. We did not have the tornado signature anymore. We're now hearing rumbles of thunder in Dresden and in Martin. So that's going on there. Greenfield's in the dry for now, but get ready. There's going to be some wind coming your way here in just a few minutes. Greenfield as the storm moves off to the northeast. And as you know, as many times these storms, they die down, they eat up energy and they die down, and then they'll pick up more energy. But this is starting to turn into a line of, it's starting to turn into a line of thunderstorms. Let's get that back over here on the other screen. As you can see, there's a line of thunderstorms from Dresden all the way down through Kenton, Rutherford, down to New Bern and Dyersburg, and Dyer County and Halls, Folks Community, Friendship, Crockett County is about to get another round of heavy thunderstorms and heavy rain right here. That's why they have this severe thunderstorm warning out. They're pretty much covering everything from the Mississippi River down at Atoka northeast toward Humboldt. If you draw a line from there to there, everybody's going to get at least some good straight line winds out of this. Okay, let's update on the Gibson County. We don't have a tornado warning. Again, we're at 6:31, so the tornado warning was not allowed to expire. They canceled it at 6:26, the one for Gibson and Dyer County. A new pocket of rotation. Well, not so much new. It's just disappeared, and now it's reappeared again with a 5 TVS. That's a tornado signature on radar. And not a tight couplet or anything, but definitely some rotating winds right here in the Kenton community. In the Kenton community, this is moving off to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So, and again, this is not even a severe thunderstorm warning of such. All right, so this is just some stuff that they're still looking at the National Weather Service. But to be kind of specific with what's going on around the area, let's just go north to south here, okay? In West Kentucky, and that would be Callaway and, oh goodness, That'd be Callaway County. And also Mayfield. That's just to the west there of, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here, but Graves County and Callaway County. So thunderstorms that close to our area, all the way back down into Hickman County and Fulton County. Then we get into West Tennessee. And that would be Lake County. And now Weakley County is starting to feel some thunderstorms and rumble of thunder and some wind coming into the county as well. Now, we still show a good pocket of rotation, some small hail in the KenTenn community. This is approaching Sharon, and that would be Highway 45E there. Still no severe thunderstorm warning as of yet. So, and in the process, in the process of doing all of this, there are messages that are coming in and all kinds of stuff right now. But at the moment, I don't have any other. There's a new severe thunderstorm. I still don't have the information on the local area emergency. Let me see if I can dial that up somewhere, because we didn't. I don't think we relayed that, or something went astray there. And we're looking here. We've received it. Okay. So here's what we have. This came in at 6:23. This is 10 minutes old. I'm trying to figure out where it came from. Is this from the National Weather Service? No. Possibly. I don't know. This is a digital message through the emergency alert system. The civil authorities have issued a local area emergency. This is Lake County. It's 6:23. The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning for Lake County and Tennessee until 10. A flash flood warning until 10. Seek higher ground and avoid flooded roads. Monitor local news and weather for updates. Turn around, don't drown. It's interesting that they sent it that way. They didn't send it as a flash flood warning. They sent it as a local area emergency. That's how it came in. Interesting. Okay. That's how things get by you. That's all I can say. If you're in these areas, let's see if, we're just kind of monitoring the situation here. There's folks that are concerned. They're calling in. Again, our Weather Center number is 731-242-2025. Call us if you have something pressing that you need to say, like if there's some kind of severe situation. Tell me if there are tornado shelters open in your area. We know that the Martin Community Center is open in Weakley County. Also, the Weakley County Courthouse is open. Those two shelters are open. If you know of any other tornado shelters that might be open, this line of severe weather is just really getting started as it makes its way across the Mississippi River and into West Tennessee. Currently, no tornado warnings from any National Weather Service office at the moment. And we're kind of just holding wall to wall here for a minute. It's kind of a holding pattern. But we still continue to see some inflow on a storm that's in the neighborhood of KenTenn and Rutherford. Just some drops in the, what they call, it's drops in the storm. If you, it's a difference, I guess you would say. It's supposed to be indicative of a funnel, if I should say the word more or less. But we're not going to get into all the technical jargon with that. But people in KenTenn and Sharon and Martin and Greenfield, get ready for some high winds here in just a few minutes. I'm in Dresden. I'm not on battery yet, so that's good. But a severe line is still coming from Dyersburg all the way down to Henning. So folks to the east of that, majority of you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And the alarms are going off again, and that's going to leave us with a severe thunderstorm warning. That's a new one that's coming out. And we'll see how that goes here in just a minute. That may possibly be for North Mississippi as well, because the entire Memphis metro is under some sort of severe thunderstorm warning at this point. But this thing is kind of built together, kind of turned into somewhat of a line. It's a very disorganized line that we've been watching here on the radar as it's made its way across the Mid-South this evening. And about 5:55 is when this all started coming together, and now we've got a line from West Kentucky all the way down to Memphis. and that's typical of how we get our weather here a lot. Looking at our Paducah radar, we see several sections of rotating wind right here. As a matter of fact, now I have a number 5 TVS on the screen here. This is going to be to the west of Sharon, Tennessee. That'd be west of Sharon and west of Greenfield. And we've updated again. Okay, Martin, get ready. Here comes some high winds. Sharon, Greenfield, you two, folks here in town, Dresden, Palmersville. This storm is coming this way. It doesn't take long to get, like I said, this tornado warning came from Dyersburg. It doesn't take long to get from Dyersburg to Dresden. And that's what we're doing here. We do not have a tornado warning again as such. We do have these pockets of rotating winds. They are showing up on radar. They're not severe enough to be called a tornado warning. We're still going to keep an eye on this. It just depends how the storm enters one pocket of air and goes into the next, how unstable it is, how much energy it can suck up and get ramped up. There's plenty of lift in the atmosphere to make these uplifting storms, but that's what we have at the moment. I'm not going to break this thing away just yet. We're going to hang on here. Just bear with us because something might change here in just a minute. I'm going to get some new updated information, bring you up to date. Drew County, Arkansas, where is that? Okay, that's way down near Greenville, Mississippi, way away from us. That's the only tornado warning we have from any National Weather Service office at the moment. 6:39 is the time. That's where we sit at the moment. This is Talkin' West Tennessee. You're listening to 101.5 FM, 103.5 FM, 96.5 FM, and the legendary WDXI 1310 AM. It is 6:39. It's not really all that warm in Weakley County, but a little bit warmer to the south, and we're going to take a look at this further here in just a minute. In the meantime, Laura Branigan, as we keep it here watching the weather for a little bit longer, because we don't abandon our folks here out across West Tennessee. Okay, let's dump Laura Branigan. New tornado warning, just like that. The National Weather Service in Memphis issued a tornado warning for Crockett, Gibson, Lauderdale, Carroll, Haywood County until 7:30 at 6:39. That was a minute ago. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Fort Deer or 12 miles east of Ripley. Moving east at 55. I'm going to turn that down. That's tornado and quarter-size hail. This is for Crockett County, southern Gibson County, east central Lauderdale County, southwestern Carroll County, and north central Haywood County in West Tennessee. We are live at Talkin' West Tennessee, 641. Again, if you see something out there, call us at 731-242-2025. That's 731-242-2025. If your lights are out, that's okay. The electric company already knows, and we don't need to know. But if there's something severe, if there's something going on in your neighborhood, 731-242-2025. Okay? That's a number to call in here. This is Talkin' West Tennessee. We're streaming at WNWS.com and online, and another place called WestTN.com. And we should be live on the air as well. Everything should be locked in there like swimwear at this point. Tornado warnings, a new one, just came out a couple of minutes ago as we were telling you here. The National Weather Service in Memphis issued a tornado warning for Crockett County, southern Gibson County, east central Lauderdale County, and southwestern Carroll County, north central Haywood County. This goes until 7:30. The tornado was, the severe thunderstorm, rather, capable of producing a tornado was located near Fort Deer. That's 12 miles east of Ripley, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Let's change our focus. Folks who's also watching, are you watching online? If you want to watch real quick, head to ktweather.net and click on the YouTube link, and you can pick it up over there, okay? That's where all of the radar action right here for the moment is going until we can get it routed some other direction here. But as we take a look at this tornadic thunderstorm, we're now hearing thunder in the background here in the Weakley County Weather Center anyway. So we're going to go back down to Lauderdale County, where this tornado warning has originated, to the east of Ripley. That would put it in the neighborhood of Friendship and Murray City. It's very disorganized winds taking place here. Nothing, no debris balls or anything showing up just yet. We do just have a lot of rotating winds. That's a definite certain here. We switch back over here. That's just going to put a pocket of rotation here around Friendship. And that would put you at Highway 412. That would also put you in the neighborhood of Murray Junction. 82 mile an hour. And there's wind. Okay. Murray Junction, Crockett Mills, the Hodson community, and we're moving up into the Highway 188 community here. It's still going to put folks in the Caro community and Shady Grove and Murray City under the gun for this. And this is part of a line of thunderstorms. And the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center did tell us earlier in the day that a lot of these funnels that are being detected by radar were probably going to be part of a line of thunderstorms, because we haven't really seen a whole lot in the way of supercell activity today, not here in West Tennessee. To be causing all of this turbulence. It's now become part of the line of thunderstorms. They usually say, on a bad tornado day that a lot of supercells will pop out ahead of a severe line, but that was not the case today. We did not get enough sunshine in West Tennessee to really ramp up a whole lot of, discrete type storms. So we're stuck with this tacky, ugly, messy looking line of thunderstorms that stretches from Kentucky all the way down to Memphis. And just because it is that unorganized, and now it's becoming an organized level or line of thunderstorms, things are starting to come together, but they're a little bit more harder to detect. That's why we have all of this fancy radar equipment that can tell us stuff. Now, I'll go back to our other radar picture. And for the folks who've been looking online, that's the one I'm actually moving now. We do have two different tornadic signatures. Now, this is in Weakley County. We do not have a tornado warning in Weakley County as of yet. Okay, so report in from Madison County. Northeast Madison County is it's quiet there in Northeast Madison County. It's very muggy out there. So that's a good sign. It's been in the 40s north of Madison County for a good chunk of, most of this area for a good part of the day. But back to the tornado warnings, I want to tell you, thanks for that report too. CK reporting into us this evening here from North Madison County. And the reports will continue to funnel in too. Again, write the number down or punch it in your phone if you have something to report to us, what the conditions are in your community. 731-242-2025. We are receiving a new tornado watch for somewhere. I believe that might be for Kentucky actually now, since the activity has begun to ramp up in that direction up there. We do have active tornado warnings in West Tennessee. Check. I was responding to a couple of other messages too, because all of that should be on. Let's see what else we have happening here. Lots and lots of things going on here. South Gibson High School gym has a game going on. The game has been stopped. People are being moved for the tornado warning. EMA said move. That's good. They're getting into their safe shelters and all of that right there. Let's see another comment. The weather looking like this is the tornado in Jackson, or is the no? There is no tornado in Jackson. Not yet. Not as of yet. So right now I will tell you where this activity is taking place though. Again, National Weather Service has issued a new tornado warning. This came out about, let's see when it came out about. It hadn't been that long ago. It goes until 7:30 though. Okay, so there is an update. It just came out. It's sitting here right in front of us and just totally missed that. Tornadic thunderstorm was canceled for central Lauderdale and north central Haywood counties. Tornado warning remains in effect until 7:30 for central Crockett, southern Gibson, and southwestern Carroll counties. This was 2 minutes ago. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Alamo, or 16 miles north of Brownsville. It's moving east at 55. Okay, that's kind of a messy picture there. Let's get back over to the other thing, and we'll take a better look at that there. This will tell us a little bit about what's going on. So they said it's near Alamo. That would put it in the neighborhood again. Crockett Mills, Cairo community, or Cairo, however you like to pronounce it. Murray City, the Brazil community along Highway 412. If you're in Crockett County, you should be in your shelter at this point. And folks further down the line, Brazil community and Trenton, Mount Orange, Edison, Christian Chapel, Gibson Wells, Frog Jump, Fruitland community, all of you folks, Humboldt as well, Gibson. So the majority of Gibson County, the southern part of Gibson County, is under the tornado polygon at this hour. That would mean from Bradford down to Humboldt. And then here we go in Atwood and Hopewell and Lavinia and the Milan Arsenal. City of Milan is in the tornado warning. Skullbone is in the tornado warning. Tresvant is in the line, and so is McLemoresville, but you're not in the polygon just yet. But heads up, you got some rotating winds coming here. So let's take a look at this right here. This is going to put us in the rotation area right here. Still a lot of winds blowing out of this storm, is what we're seeing here on the radar picture. If you happen to be looking at this, they're blowing out away from the thing, but still you'll see these notches like that right there, and even larger notches, but that's nothing to worry with at the moment. The main problem is this rotation that's right here in the neighborhood of the Cairo community, Alamo, and Murray City. So that's where we're kind of looking at. If you want to focus in a little bit more on it, we can switch back over to the other thing, and that will kind of tell you. It just really looks unorganized. There's no definitive, hook echo or anything like that. Not any sharp hooks or anything like that. But we are looking at pockets of rotation and strong rotation in the Friendship community. Really getting a downpour right now. Some really intense rain reflectivity coming down there. So, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Alamo, or 16 miles north of Brownsville, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So there's that taking place. It is 6:51. You're on Talkin' West Tennessee, 101.5 FM, 103.5 FM, 96.5 FM, and at 1310 WDXI. We'll get our legal fit in here in just a minute. Tornado warning continues for Carroll, Crockett, and Gibson County. The tornado warning continues until 7:30 this evening. We continue to keep looking here at some of the other things going on around here. This was another tornado warning that was issued. This was the same one that we are talking about, but I just want to put ears on it for a second because, okay, yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on with that there, but at any rate, that's not what we wanted. She's unstoppable, gang. Okay, so this. Yeah, that's what's taking place there. Okay, back to it, gang. Tornado warning continues until 7:30 for these parts of West Tennessee: Crockett County, Gibson County, Carroll County. This was about 5 minutes ago. Thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Alamo, 16 miles north of Brownsville, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Let me tell you where it is right this minute. It is currently located. Are you seeing that right there? Okay. This is just to the east of Friendship. Let's get back over to the other one. It's a lot more helpful when we're looking at some of these things here. That's going to put you around Crockett Mills, Murray Junction, Highway 188. This is going to end up putting you on Eaton Brazil Road. some real heavy activity right there. Okay, so now we're starting to see a little bit more wind appear in this thing, picking up some rotation. That's going to be in about the Brazil community, okay? Frog Jump, Mount Orange. And some of these roads out here, that'll be in the neighborhood of, that's McMurray Road, Brazil Road, Frog Jump Brazil Road, Toy Alfred Road, Loop Road, also Walter Cresap Road. These are areas, rural areas out in Gibson County. And this is going to be approaching the Trenton community here shortly. So, you know, you got to be aware of what's going on here, gang, because this is some serious stuff. This is a tornado warning. Again, it was radar indicated. Let's see what else we have rocking and rolling for us here. Everything that we have currently is radar indicated, rather. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for, well, most of these areas and some areas in North Mississippi. So any way you spin it, any way you look at it, the tornado warning is, the tornado warning, it's currently, well, I guess I should start over here because we're kind of looking at the last radar updates. Again, the main pocket of rotation of this storm, I should say, is probably to the west of Frog Jump, if not in that community already. Mount Orange. This thing is on a northeasterly path, and this storm was moving at 65 miles per hour. Earlier, the tornado warning we had for Dyer County and Lauderdale County earlier was moving at 45, so this joker's picked up some speed here. And that's all right, because we can track that too. So let's put it right here, and then let's move it off to the northeast at 65, and it's going to tell us it's going to be in Frog Jump right now. In Trenton, less than 5 minutes. Moore's Chapel will be there in 10 minutes. Vaughn's Grove in 11 minutes. Concord in about 12 minutes there. Union Central in 14. Also Cades. Hughes Loop in 14 minutes. Idlewild, Ledbetter, Gann, Hollyleaf within the next 20 minutes. Take your shelter now. And now we're even seeing this thing branch up a little bit more north than the polygon that we just drew. So let's regroup on that, shall we? Okay. It's not a bad idea. We're just trying to get an idea of where this thing is going to appear in some of our rural communities here, right? So we'll redraw it. And much of what I just said is, it's still pretty accurate and online here. Trenton, you're in the line of this. Lane View, rather. Vaughn's Grove, Concord, Idlewild, Cades, Bradford in 12 minutes, Skullbone in 15, Hollyleaf, Stafford Store, Crowley Store, Tresvant, Christmasville, Pillaville, Wingo, Hinkledale, and that's where we stop right there. So we're looking at about, we're looking at a good chunk of folks right here, about 6,000 folks just in this polygon, or this particular area anyway. Strong winds blowing out away from this storm. So folks along these areas of Dyer and Trenton and down to Humboldt, you're going to be seeing some straight line winds out of this storm here. And in Dresden, is this the Paducah radar? So we're seeing it. There's no tornado warning for Weakley County, but we're seeing a decent pocket of rotation right here just to the north of Dresden. That would put it on Palmersville, on Highway 89 in the Jewel community, north of Highway 54. And so we need to keep an eye on that one right there. We'll get some further information from the National Weather Service if they will update the tornado warning here. And they should. When we have the tornado warnings, they update them a little bit more than they do the severe thunderstorm warnings. 6:52, that's been 5 minutes ago. We've talked about this, I believe. But the update from 5 minutes ago, tornado and ping pong ball size hail, we didn't happen to mention that to you. A thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was near Eaton Community. And that's kind of where we're looking at this right here. Let's get back on this other radar and go back down to Trenton. That's where we're seeing the strongest rotation in the city of Trenton right now. So you've got the bypass around Trenton that comes from Central or Spring Hill School, or however you want to look at it, the bypass around Trenton. And in the city of Trenton is where we're looking at some decent rotation on the front end of this storm. We're actually seeing the wind blow opposite direction. So if you're catching all of that, then that's what's taking place here. It's 6:58, and again, I want to bring you up to date. We've got to take maybe 60 seconds right here and catch up on some stuff. You are listening to WNWS Jackson, WDXI Jackson, and WBFG Parker's Crossroads Jackson. This is Talk in West Tennessee. We're tracking severe weather tonight here on the radio and online at westtn.com. Also at WNWS.com on the streams anywhere in the world, 24/7. We are online here and on the air, and we're bringing you this information. It is 6:58, a severe weather night in West Tennessee. We're back in just a couple of minutes. Tornado warnings continue. And one more time, before we step away for 60 seconds, Trenton, get in your shelter. Dyer community, are you taking shelter? Bradford, Idlewild, Milan, Gibson, anybody out here in this area, Morris Chapel, the Milan Airport or Gibson County Airport, New Enterprise, Concord, New Hope, Vaughn's Grove, get in your shelter now. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a notch on this storm just to the north of Trenton on the north leg of the bypass where 45W joins up. It's basically 45W on the north side of Trenton. Let's put it that way. We'll continue this coverage here. Give us about 60 seconds. This is Talk in West Tennessee. Be right back. We're back with you here at 7:01 at WNWS Jackson, WDXI Jackson, and WBFG Parker's Crossroads Jackson. This is Talk in West Tennessee. I'm Brian Thomas. We're covering severe weather this evening across West Tennessee with active tornado warnings. Gang, are we ready? No, we're not ready, but we will talk about it. And here we go. We're going to hang in here with you as long as this continues on. We see quite a bit of rotation now in a storm, a tornado warned storm just to the north of Trenton. Okay, scratch that. We'll just say the entire town of Trenton at this hour. Trenton, you should be in your tornado shelter. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming out, and we'll talk about that as soon as we can get to it. I've got to focus on this tornado warning at the moment, though. Trenton is under the gun. Now we're starting to see an inflow notch here along Highway 45W. This would put you in the Dyer community between Dyer and Trenton. If you want to watch the radar, the only way I've got the radar plugged into the public, you have to go to ktweather.net. That's ktweather.net and click on the YouTube link. If you want to follow along with what's going on here, this storm is picking up motion. Again, ktweather.net. As we join all of our forces together tonight and get some things going on here on the air so we can track this storm. You're out and about, you're mobile, you're listening to the radio, or you're streaming WNWS.com or News Talk. The News Talk, that's news. How do I say it? I don't have it in front of me. Talk, the letter N, westtn.com. I should know that by now, right? We are looking at this pocket of rotation. This is now going to be in the Georgetown, Laneview, Vaughn's Grove area. This would be along Highway 54 to the north of Trenton. We're seeing a bit of an inflow notch on this storm, which means it's starting to pick up some rotation, as we can see here on the radar. Trenton, this entire town of Trenton right here, and folks around Highway 77 and out in Vaughn's Grove and Tucker's Corner in the Concord community, Laneview, everybody between, how should I say this? Everybody, if you draw a triangle between Bradford, Trenton, and Milan, you probably need to be in the tornado shelter right now. We have a new tornado warning polygon. This also includes Weakley County. Where's the Weakley County warning? We'll get it to you right here because it's all coming out. This is going to include southern Weakley County, central Gibson County, northern Benton County, northern Carroll County, Henry County until 7:45. Here we go with the information. Gang, listen up. This is important. At 7:02, this was a minute ago, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Dyer or near Trenton, the same one we've been watching here, Moving east at 65. Tornado and quarter-size hail. This is radar indicated. You know the tornado rules to stay out of the storm's way. So we don't read a lot of those there. National Weather Service takes care of a lot of this. So folks, in the path of this storm, Paris, McKenzie, Trenton, Dresden, Dyer, Greenfield, Gleason, Rutherford, Bradford, the Vale community, Springville, that's Reuton, Tresvant, Big Sandy, Henry, Tucker's Corner, Grizzard, Cades, Old Springville, and Como. All of this activity right here moving off to the northeast. Again, gang, if you have something to tell us about, be sure to give us a call here at 731-242-2025 if you have something pressing that needs to be passed along. Let's see. That's what we were trying to get some information updated. This is an active tornado warning. This includes Gibson County, Benton County, Henry County, Carroll County, and these tornado warnings overlap. We have two different tornado warnings taking place right here. Let's see here. NWS. So we're looking at the NWS stuff, and I'm checking some other things on the other end over here. Sorry, gang. All right, let's get an update on the radar picture here. Let's go back over here and take a look. Oh boy, that thing is lit up here in the past couple of minutes, really. We're starting to see winds away from the radar, winds toward the radar, 31 and 46, at least 80 right there. Well, there's 80 right there. This is to the east of Trenton. This is in the Idlewild community. This is along Highway 45E. There is something going on in this community there, and there's another pocket of rotation just to the north of that, Highway 54, and that's going to be Poplar Grove, Barron's Corner, the Lynn community, and Bradford. All of this area needs to be in your tornado shelter now. If you're near Trenton, if you're near Milan, north and east of Milan, Idlewild Community, Cades, Union Central, Concord, Gann Community, Holly Leaf, Skullbone, Bradford, Beech Grove. In your tornado shelter now. Greenfield, get in your tornado shelter now. The southernmost part of the storm is I say the southernmost part. This is a particular part of the storm where we're seeing the most of the rotation. The polygon, however, is drawn around Rutherford, and Dyer still includes these areas. We're not excluding these folks. Greenfield, anybody Highway 124 in Weakley County, Bradford. This would be Old Hall, Beech Grove, Kimmery Store, Mount Herman, Liberty Community, Pillaville, Green Hills, Bloomington Grove. All of these areas out here need to be in your tornado shelter now. Gleason needs to. So everybody who is out in this area, two separate pockets of rotation right here, all part of the same large thunderstorm that is producing a tornado on radar. Radar indicated rotation, I should say, to be more precise about it. I'm going to park this right here so you can see the two pockets of rotation if you're looking on the radar. Again, that's ktweather.net. If you're looking at what's going on here, you click on the YouTube link, and you see the red and the green right there. There's one pocket, and you see the towns right there. If you're looking at the other one right below it, that's Vaughn's Grove, Laneview, these areas here. So let's get back over here to the warnings. We've got to check our warnings here. The warning that came out 4 minutes ago, that was specific for Henry and Weakley County. There's two different. Okay, now we have another tornado warning in Weakley County. This one came out 4 minutes ago, and this one was in Cottage Grove, 12 miles northwest of Paris, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. We're starting to take lightning strikes, and we're probably going to be in the dark here in just a minute, and flying blind or not flying at all, and that's going to be very unfortunate for our listeners. At least temporarily, we are getting a huge downpour in the city of Dresden right now. This thing just blossomed. It just bloomed up all at once. So there's that. Getting a lot of things going on. Let's see, I'm getting a lot of information in here to say UT Martin is passing along the information, the tornado warning, which now has multiple tornado warnings for Weakley County. Let's see if we can bring it all together and wrangle it up here, gang, because this is starting to get confusing. Now, Callaway County in Kentucky, just north of Weakley County, is under tornado warning. Let's get Henry and Weakley County again. This is the one near Cottage Grove. So this is moving into Henry County. Tornado warning goes until 7:45. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Cottage Grove or 12 miles northwest of Paris, moving northeast at 55. Radar indicated rotation. Next tornado warning for southern Weakley, central Gibson, northern Benton, northern Carroll, Henry County. This is until 7:45. It's 7:02, so we're almost 10 minutes into this thing. Thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Dyer. If we look at our radar, we'll tell you where it is now. Along Trenton Highway, that's Highway 54. And still yet more warnings and information's coming in from just about everywhere now. It's plenty of stuff going on here. Vaughn's Grove, Idlewild, anybody along Highway 45E between Bradford and Milan needs to be in your tornado shelter now. This thing is coming on. Right here, we're looking at the Trenton Highway. We call it Highway 54. Between Trenton and Bradford, it's almost on top of you. Take cover now. Idlewild. This thing's on top. Vaughn's Grove, it's on top of you now. You should be in your tornado shelter. Concord Community, Cades, Gann, Skullbone, Highway 105 between Hollyleaf and Bradford. Stafford Store is in the path of this. And these two pockets of rotation are side by side here, so you're only talking about several miles difference. There's two different pockets of rotation on this on this activity going on here, which has caused the National Weather Service to put out two different tornado warnings. We can clearly see these on radar. Now, if I happen to switch this over to where we see the drops, is it going to show us anything? It's pretty muddied up right now. There's no, clear debris balls or anything like that we can see here. I think it jumped off the screen. We don't really see a whole lot in that action going right there. There are some slight drops. We'll call here, this would be now in the Idlewild community. That would be part of that storm. And up here in the Lynn community, there's some pretty good drops in radar. Now, that means that there is some kind of definite rotation going on in these areas. Let's get back to velocity, and it'll put these colors back on the screen. And that also put me into another situation here on this radar, where now there is a block in the radar. I can't see the rotation in the southern part of the storm. So let's guesstimate here, and that's what we're going to do. If Bradford is capped north and south of Bradford along Highway 45E with this rotation. Two pockets of rotation, which means the Idlewild community is getting hit right now. And between Bradford and Greenfield along the river is in this pocket of rotation here, which means everybody in these areas here, Atwood, Tresvant, McLemoresville. Do we have another tornado warning going now? That's covering Gibson County, but I'm seeing something come out near Humboldt here. Let's get an idea here. Let's see what's going on. Is there some kind of rotation here in the city of Humboldt, or at least north of Humboldt, like between Humboldt and Fruitland? I'm not sure what that is, but we were hearing something that was terribly frightening. That was just outside the weather center here, which kind of puts me in a bad position. So we do look at some pockets of this is serious turbulence right here north of Bradford, and also to the south of Bradford. still storms could messages. Yeah, that would probably be good. Let me give you the number here. If you do have something to report in, we do have 2 lines open, and we're gonna bring Mike Doles in here with us too here in just a minute. And I heard that Dan Reeves may be along with us this evening too, but we're going to get an idea here in just a minute. We've got multiple people on this thing. We're sitting here tracking this on the radar and streaming this guy, and this is one warning after another. And if you don't zoom out far enough, you don't see them. So you've got to, this storm really popped up. And honestly, I had more confidence that it was going to hit. And I had more confidence as this thing was going to hit down around Shelby County in the Memphis metro. But that was not necessarily the case. But we just, we'll see how this goes right here. Let's take to the air. Let's see if this thing's going to go. Mike Doles, are you there? Did I even push the right button? Mike, no, that's the wrong button. Let's push the right button. It would help if I would push the right button, the one that says phone. Mike Doles, there you are. Hello.
I am here. How are you? Besides going through a really stormy evening.
Oh yeah, well, you just happen to be right in the middle of it. So.
Yeah, well, it's not quite here where I'm at yet. Of course, I'm in Hardeman County, so I've got until probably around 7:45, 8 o'clock before it actually hits where I'm at. Mm-hmm. But man, it's been pretty rough in some areas. Looking at where you are right now, some of those storms, especially the tornado warnings that are tracking to the north and northeast, some of them have been moving at 75 miles an hour. Some of them around 45 miles an hour. So it kind of varies depending on where you are.
Yeah, it really does. And I was really surprised at this. It's not uncommon. It's just not common around here that you would see 2 pockets of strong rotation that sit so side by side like that. In Gibson County, Bradford was cased in by 2 of these things. And currently there's still on the south end of Bradford, it's fallen into one of those radar hazard rings that doesn't show up a lot of stuff. So you can't see what's going on until it gets back into view of the radar. But clearly in Greenfield right now, there's a giant, huge pocket of rotation along Highway 124 that runs between Greenfield and McKenzie. But it is in the city limits of Greenfield. I'm not sure what's going on down there at the moment, but I was concerned about the one in Cottage Grove. That one is very, very lit up right now. That was something else I was trying to get back up here and check out. I know they're a little bit out of our listening area, but we've got everybody's attention on here because we've been, hollering from the mountaintop all night to, listen. We're trying to track this stuff. So as it's moving out of Tennessee, it's moving to Hazel, Kentucky, but that thing is lit up on Paducah radar big time. I mean, there's something big time going on along Highway 641 at 641 rather, just to the north of Puryear. It'd be interesting to see what comes out of that storm. And still down here in Gibson County and moving into Carroll County, I'm concerned with in Weakley County. It's to the south of me, and I hope it does stay out of the city of Dresden. But we just had that back in 2021, and nobody needs this stuff, Mike. But the problem here is that we do have 2 separate pockets of rotation. Now, one may be falling apart. They can't really tell until it gets back into that view of the radar. That one hidden band around the radar. There's 2 or 3 of them, and once it crosses into there, you can't see the velocity of the storms anymore. You can't see if they're turning. But here in the city of Greenfield and along Highway 124, we do clearly see that. Right there. We're going to switch over to this other radar picture. So you're saying that down in Hardeman County, you're near Bolivar then, you all really haven't had anything yet, but it's on the way.
Yeah, well, actually right now, I mean, we're still well away from the actual line that's coming across. It's made its way across the Mississippi into Memphis, but I will tell you this now, we don't have to worry about tornadoes alone, because we've had a ton of rainfall. There have been roads that have been washed out, especially up around where you are, Brian. I know you've seen that, but also dangerous lightning as well, because last I checked, I know MLG and W in Memphis had way over 3,000 people without power already, and that was about 30 minutes ago, so I'm sure that has increased since then. But we've got a ton of rain on the way with these very heavy lines of rain. But we also have, the ground so saturated already. We've had rain over the last several days to where that ground is saturated so much to where any kind of, especially loose-rooted trees, all it's going to take is a good straight-line wind to bring some of those down. So we're going to see more power outages. We're going to see more flooded roads. And then we also, on top of that, Brian, still have that possibility of tornadoes as well.
Yeah, that possibility is going to hang with us. We've been kind of looking at the models, and I know you have too, today. It just really was kind of like a dart game, wasn't it? I mean, you didn't know. You had this unstable air over here, but then you didn't have enough lift over here, but then you had this over here, but you didn't have all the ingredients wasn't exactly right to produce. I mean, for one, everybody didn't get sunshine today. I know we didn't. We probably got maybe 25 minutes of sunshine all day. And here we are with these, but they said that the jet streams, I say the lower level jets, we'll put it that way, were going to be here. They were strong. They were going to hold with us all day and pretty much have. Now, it's been a pretty calm day outside, but now that this line is approaching us, it really got ramped up really quick. And right now in the Puryear community, I'm showing a TVS of 9 on radar and showing 2 good, strong pockets of rotation now on the on my trustworthy system over here. Bradford and Greenfield and Tresvant and these areas out here, McKenzie and Gleason. This is not too many miles south of me, so there's several pockets of rotation here, and the lights are blinking. It's really going to come down hard. And I know if they hit the weekly county electric circuits, the whole county is liable to go out. It's just the way, the nature of the beast. But
well, I'm watching this, Brian. I think we still have basically three active tornado warnings here in West Tennessee. I know we've got the one that's as far as Southwest Tennessee right now. It's the one that is tracking just to the north of Humboldt. Then you've got another wedge right above that's coming out of the Trenton area, and then you've got one that's also up around the Paris area. So you've got these 3 boxes of tornado warnings that are all active here in West Tennessee for the basically north of the I-40 corridor. But there is still there's a severe thunderstorm warning, of course, that's in effect that's coming out of Memphis. And there was some rotation in that for a little while ago. I was watching that is moving towards the northeast as well. That's actually right now the edge of that, the far side edge of that, as far as the east side of it, is actually just now getting into Fayette County, drifting up through Brownsville, through Haywood County, and then that's also following up towards where those tornado warnings are right now.
Right. And again, like I said, we've been tracking this, and we're still trying to work on getting our video linked. When I get on here and do some of this stuff, but some folks have been following along, and I got a question a minute ago that I don't know if it was here in Weakley County, the sirens going off. Well, I'm sure that they are, but I wasn't clear if they were going off in Jackson. But Jackson's not under a tornado warning, and they're not they're not inside any kind of polygons right now. So.
Yeah, the only one that they were close to, there was a severe thunderstorm warning that was stretching out of Haywood County that got into the northwest portion of Madison County, but that has since expired. But I'm watching this, and it does look like some sort of maybe, and I'm sure you can see this on the radar as well, Brian, that big line of thunderstorms where we're going to get that squall line that's going to come through, especially around Madison County up towards Carroll and back down through Haywood into Fayette County. It looks like it has weakened a little bit, but it's still pretty strong, and it's going to carry some very good straight-line winds, but no tornado warnings basically right now south of the Gibson County area, it looks like.
And I want to touch on this for just a minute. I'm sitting here and watch the radar just update, and folks who have been watching this, and we continue to get stuff in here. With warnings from all over the place, but I really want to talk about this inflow notch here on the radar now. This is approaching Highway 79 and approaching McKenzie. So this is only 10 miles away from the house, but it's a couple of different inflow notches. Now, the one we were talking about, we had a We had a pocket of rotation above Bradford and below Bradford, all at that point there. It's now showing up on radar. It's now showing up on radar in the Christmasville community. This is just south and west of McKenzie.
Right.
And so we're having that there, and we've got a giant inflow right here to the south of Gleason. And you
also have a pretty good one that's coming just north of Humboldt. That's the one that had the rotation in it that spawned the tornado warning. So you've got both of these polygons basically that are just north and well, actually this one's tracking more towards Milan and maybe just skirting to the north of it a little bit. But both these polygons that are showing those tornado signatures are just to the north and west of Milan now, and they're going to be heading right towards McKenzie.
Yeah, they are. It's right on track for it, too. The heaviest of the downpour right now and the highest reflectivity we're looking at, that's going to be in State Route 190 neighborhood there, Green Hills community, also Highway 124, the Pillowville community. Everybody, if you drive 124, you have to go right through that area. And again, Hinkledale, Blooming Grove, this is all out in Carroll County and Southern Weakley County and out in these areas here. It's approaching Highway 22 to say the least of it, though. But folks in Christmasville community, folks in McKenzie, you should be in your tornado shelters. The folks that are up in Hazel and Purrier, those folks up here should be the Freeland, Mount Pleasant, and Buchanan community. The Buchanan community, Pine Hill, out near the Paris Landing State Park. Everybody out in this community should be taking cover as well right now. This is on a direct path to you guys. But now we saw the radar just update again. Mike, we have Mike Doles on the phone with us, and he's reporting in with us here too, that just to the east now of Gleason, the town of Gleason has experienced this activity, and we've also seen McKenzie, who's about to take on some good straight line winds, if not some rotating weather as well. Now, you were talking about back down in Humboldt, Mike. What were you seeing down in Gibson County?
Well, according to the radar right now, let me zoom back in on it a little bit here. Around Gibson County, Alamo has got some pretty good strong storms coming through there. There was a pretty good, let me even drop down even farther south, Mason, just south and to the east of Covington. It got a pretty good storm that just came through there. Fayette County getting some pretty strong storms. Brownsville is still getting some very heavy rain and some strong winds. Bells, Alamo, those areas. Alamo just got that one that would have that tornadic signature that went just to the north of it. Bell's about to get another round of very heavy rain and strong winds as well. That tornadic signature that's moving up, that's just south of Trenton right now. They're getting another island next in line for that very heavy rain and strong thunderstorm. Greenfield just got their dose of that as well. That's the one about, Brian, that's heading over towards McKenzie, Henry, Paris. Those areas about to see some very strong storms. And again, those are in those areas to where we've got those tornado warnings as well. So not out of the way yet. Jackson, Madison County right now, looking at those storms probably moving in the next 20 to 30 minutes. The extreme western portion of Madison County, these storms coming out of Brownsville, they're going to start seeing that here in the next 15, 20 minutes, and then the city of Jackson probably in the next 30 minutes. And luckily, right now in those areas, Madison County not showing anything as far as a tornadic signature. But who knows, because this is going to continue for the next hour. I think we've got that tornado warning that's in effect until about 10 o'clock tonight. These storms, I think, Brian, are going to be out of here well in advance of that, because it looks like that line of storms has moved well past the Mississippi River. They are already past Memphis. As far as the strong signatures of storms, they are over into Fayette County. The extreme eastern portion of this line is in Fayette County. It's about midway through Haywood County. It's all the way up through Gibson County and up through Trenton, and now drifting over towards Paris. So if you can just think about a collapsed line from north to south on an easterly projection, it's basically traveling almost like an I-40 corridor kind of thing. It's weird how those storms, Brian, love to lay down on I-40, but these storms are actually over into Fayette right now, and they're not far from heading into Madison County here in the next 15-20 minutes.
And a little bit further north I like to call it Jackson Metro, North Madison County and Madison County area and Gibson County, back up here into Carroll County and Henry County, we're seeing straight line winds gusting out. I saw gusts over 80 miles per hour a while ago here in this just in the city of McKenzie, and again
wow.
we're still seeing pockets of rotation on Highway 140. That should be the highway between Como and Gleason. Yeah, I believe that's right. Highway 140. That's where a good pocket of rotation is right now. Crossing that highway, it's going to be in the Herndale community in Henry County here soon, and it'll be in Henry itself, in Palestine, and the Midway community approaching Paris here in just a little bit. And like I said, we've got these wind gusts we saw on the radar, the radar slides and now I've got another update. I mean, we're seeing stuff, above 80 miles per hour in some of these areas, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour wind gusts. It's out in front of this. Looking back south, I'm going to get you to do that here in just a minute. I want to go back and pull up whatever I have update on active warnings. The active warning continues. The National Weather Service has not updated this warning since it came out. This is the one.
Are you talking about the one that's up around Trenton and Humboldt? Yeah. I was looking at the signature of rotation. Those have dropped down quite a bit as far as the rotation. Maybe why they may allow those to expire, but I'm not seeing a strong rotation signature out of those like I did a little while ago.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any expiration. Now, this giant tornado warning came out at 7:02, and this is the one that's still active. Everything else is out of state. You have one in Louisiana and you have one in Kentucky for Callaway County and Murray. But only thing we're seeing here is still a tornado warning continues for Gibson County and also for part of Weakley, Benton, Carroll, and Henry County. So their focus now is mainly on this area up here. I don't see anything else, any predictive type statements out, but at the same time, they usually hand down updates on stuff that they're tracking every, 10 or 15 minutes or so, and this has not been updated in the last 30 minutes. So maybe
we did get a new severe thunderstorm warning, and that's in that active tornado warning area. That one includes just to the east of Humboldt, all the way up through Huntington, just south of the Paris area. So that was part of that tornado warning that we saw that was coming out of the Gibson County area into Carroll County. They did issue a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. But like I said, it looked like the tornadic signature had backed off somewhat. Now, as long as that tornado warning is active, you still need to be very aware and be in your place of safety regardless. So just because they have added a new box in there does not mean that you do not need to be aware.
You got that right. And we're still watching this storm up here. I'm going to switch radar sites because when these things start moving away from one radar ball to another, you end up having to switch out in front of the main line of storms to kind of get a better picture of what's going on. And so I've switched over to Hopkinsville now, and there is in Callaway County, Murray, Kentucky, right there, now developing a new pocket of tornadic activity, I should say, some spinning activity there. But back down into Carroll County, we're starting to get a little notch of inflow and along Highway 79, Tresvant and Atwood, and just to the west of Huntington. And as this storm, it flattens out and it bows up, and then you start seeing these pockets of rotation in these areas here. And we do see some low-level and some mid-level rotation happening here around McKenzie, in the neighborhood of McKenzie and Huntington and Carroll County. And that's in one radar picture. Now, if you go over here and look at the other one, you were talking about Humboldt a minute ago, but up here in McLemoresville and Atwood and Tresvant, this sucker's bowing back up again, and we're starting to see some opposing winds in the town of McLemoresville here too. Not to mention what we were talking about. Remember up along Highway 140 between Como a while ago? That storm has since progressed to the east, and now we're seeing even higher winds. We're seeing 109 mile per hour wind gust right here in the community of Henry along Highway 79.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's just the opposing winds. That's not the winds, going toward the radar. So when you start coupling those things, it's well over 100-mile-an-hour winds here, but that's also in a couplet area, which is showing some strong rotation. So, the tornado warning continues for Henry County, and this is the hot spot on the map right now. That's one of them. A little lesser spot is going to be this inflow notch down here in Tresvent, McLemoresville, and south of McKenzie. So it's two areas that we really need to be watching. And if you're following along with it, my gosh, I mean, the winds are just, that's kind of stuff you see out west, but that's pretty strong right there. When you've got winds blowing away from the radar at 100 mile per hour, you have to add those in with the winds going toward the radar to kind of get a better idea of what the actual winds are. But right now, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the negative winds.
Now, Brian, it was kind of weird earlier today because about 3 hours ago down here in Hardeman County, of course, we had the rain that came in early. We had some pockets of showers and thunderstorms well ahead of the front that was coming through. But it got eerie here because while it was still daylight, all of a sudden we had this real low-level fog set in. Yeah. And that's one of those indicative things of you're about to see some weird weather come in. When you basically had some rain and all of a sudden the temperatures start to warm up, you've got the cold air as well, and you see that fog move in. Of course, that's kind of moved out now, but that's showing you exactly how volatile the weather is in this neck of the woods right now. I know they had changed over the last several days about where they thought the most severe weather would be. At first, it was well south of the West Tennessee area. Then all of a sudden, boom, they moved it up into West Tennessee. And now we're seeing these areas of tornado signatures that have moved not only into southwest Tennessee, but well into northwest Tennessee as well, that are moving up north of Humboldt, up around Huntingdon, up around Paris, and those areas you were talking about a moment ago out of Gibson and Carroll County.
And it was kind of watching the models and some of the, what we call the ingredients to the recipe. And it just wasn't, about 4:00, it just wasn't looking promising at this time of the day. We had we saw on the leading edge of this line that the cap was actually coming off as the line was coming through, but we didn't have enough cape. We didn't have enough energy, to support, any kind of major stuff. But as we've seen now, that's anything subject to change, even if the computer does say that. So, the computer can't be right, 100% of the time. But I do want to tell you, though, they updated the tornado warning that we've been under here for a little while. Tornado warning remains in effect until 7:45. So we've got another roughly 10 minutes on this sucker. Southeastern Weekly, East Central Gibson, North Benton County, Northern Carroll County, and Henry counties. So this is about 5 minutes ago. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Rooten. That's 8 miles north of McKenzie. And on the radar right now, if I could put that in perspective for you, where did the radar go? It's right here. So that's going to put you at about, this is going to put you out in the, it's approaching the Mansfield community, Highway 114, State Route 77, Van Dyke community. This is going to be running through the southern part of Paris and out through Oakland, 69A highway on its way toward Manleyville and Spring Creek and Pleasant Hill and Vale and all of these areas out there. May not, it may make it to Vale. We'll just have to see. Vale it may be in the polygon. I can't tell at this point right there, but yeah, they did update this information just a few minutes ago. What they're reporting is tornado and quarter-size hail reported by radar. Clearly, yes, that's what we're looking at. And now we're starting to see the low-level rotation on the radar between McKenzie and Atwood in that storm. We're looking at two separate sections, and this sucker just intensified again on the radar. And yeah, so we've got that going for us here. That's going to be between Tresvent and McKenzie is what we're looking at here. And there's several portions of rotation here. I say portions, pockets rather, in and around McKenzie. 2-inch size hail being reported out between Como and Henry, so that's going to be outside city limits. It's going to be approaching Paris. You're going to see 2-inch size hail reported back by radar. Really high returns, reflectivity coming up on the storm that's approaching McKenzie. we've got to switch back to this other radar. We're switching back and forth. We've got two different ones serving two different purposes here. When we get over here and look at this, is this a new tornado warning? I'm seeing two different things coming here. Oh gosh, look here. We have to update you on this. We've got 104 mile per hour winds reporting in Henry now.
That's the leading edge of that front that's coming through. That's also in that pocket of that tornado warning that you were talking about as well. So
let's see what we just received here. This is something for the National Weather Service. We have something else. Now I'm getting a new alert. There's a tornado warning, and it's 7:38. So we have a new tornado warning. Let's catch it here. This is for Weakley, Benton, Carroll, and Henry County. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was over Reuton. It sounds like we're on repeat, but this is where it all started here. This is a new warning. Near Paris, moving northeast at 55. Tornado and quarter-size hail. Here are the people who's about to get hit by this storm. Paris, McKenzie, Huntington, Paris Landing State Park. Dresden is still in this, I guess because we fall under the polygon here, but the storm is actually out to the east of us. Greenfield, Gleason, Atwood, Cottage Grove, Reuton, Vale, Springville, Tresvant, Purrier, Big Sandy, Henry, McLemoresville, Sand Hill, Mansfield, and Old Springville. So we were just talking about these areas, Mike, just a few minutes ago, that this thing's ramping up. Now we go and switch back over. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm also looking at the one you're talking about, the center of that cell that's just moved basically north of Milan, moving into Carroll, northwest Carroll County. That's going to put it right around the McKenzie area up through Henry. And we're talking about cloud tops that are probably over 30,000 feet. And all that does is just intensify the possibility of rotation. The higher the cloud tops go, the more they tap into that cold air, and that's going to create those downdrafts. And so you're going to see much stronger storms or thunderstorms coming out of those. I'm looking at the storm right now, and like I said, it's moving. It's almost trying to shoot a gap, but it's now moved a little bit more north, and it's probably going to be rolling through McKenzie up through Henry. Henry's already getting one right now. They just have experienced one storm with a pretty intense. That's what you were talking about with those very, very high winds. But you've got another bout that is another cell that is attached to that line that is about to move through McKenzie, up through Henry. It's going to shoot just to the south of the Paris city, and then up through Big Sandy. That's the same storm you were talking about there, Brian.
Yeah. In Weakley County electric system, in some portions of the county, they're still receiving some, I just want to say they're still receiving some power outages, probably lightning strikes up here, and we're getting, off-air calls from other stations and things like that. So we've got power outages coming in and out all around the county, and generators kicking on and this kind of thing, what you expect when you do radio station stuff. But you're exactly right about that McKenzie storm, because this thing, if you look at it even on both radars, this thing has bloomed up like you wouldn't believe if you're tracking along with your own radar or watching what we're doing over here. You can see this thing's dropping down. So, we're looking at the correlation part of the radar picture, which is, let's not get technical with it. It's hard to explain.
The correlation coefficient.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. When you see that drop, when you see that drop, that means, okay, look out. We've got something, trying to spin up over here. But, if you're showing like a 1% or something, if it's below an 80, you probably want to raise your eyebrows at these kind of situations here. But as you said, just to the south of Paris, again, two different pockets of rotating, things going on here. Again, McKenzie and Reuton community, which is just up Highway 79. So, we're talking only 5 miles apart, these parts of the storm. So
yeah, we're talking about this storm that we were talking about, the one that spawned that tornado warning. That one is tracking now, Brian. I'm sure you can see that on the radar as well. That is tracking more northwest, which is going to take it right through the city of McKenzie and then up through Henry, maybe just to the, I don't even want to say south of Paris, because this thing keeps kind of drifting to the north a little bit. A few minutes ago, it looked like it was going to skirt south of McKenzie, but now it's not. Now it's going to go right through there, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And folks, who's out in the front of this too? That's Highway 423. That's the Mansfield community. Spring Creek, 641 highway from Camden all the way up to Paris is subject to this too. Folks in the, I'm not going to say in the Brewston community, but you're about to get some straight line winds out of this mess too here in just a few minutes. I'm going to go back to velocity for okay. We've got another bright spot now showing up on the radar again. This is south of McLemoresville. This is around Highway 220, the House community.
Yeah, that's the one we're talking about that's headed towards McKenzie right now.
Yeah, well, that thing just blew up on the radar, and then it just updated itself again. So we've got stuff all over the place. Look, if you're in Henry County or Carroll County, north of Huntington or in Huntington, go to your shelter. And folks in Big Sandy and Springville and all of these communities in north of Camden up Highway 641, if you're in the northern part or the central part of Benton County, folks need to go and get in your shelter at this point. Because right now, over the city of Paris, we're showing that pocket of rotation, that first couplet that was approaching Paris from the Como community up Highway 54 that way. I'm still showing 94 mile an hour winds in the city of Paris right now. That's blowing away from the radar, and about 35 or 40 blowing towards it. So still, we're getting over 100 mile an hour wind gust, if not rotating winds in the storm here, Mike.
Yeah, and I'm seeing two different tornado warnings now that are basically overlapping.
Mm-hmm.
There is the one that is showing the tornado warning for McKenzie. So if you're in the McKenzie area, make sure you get to your place of safety immediately. The Henry area, just south and west of Paris, that tornado warning is in effect right now. And you got two, basically, Brian, two overlapping tornado polygons, and both of them are the ones that are talking about that one storm that is just to the south of McKenzie. As a matter of fact, it's probably rolling into McKenzie right now, so you've got to be in that place of safety.
I have an update for this tornado warning. At 7:42, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was over Paris. This is exactly what we're talking about. It was moving northeast at 55, tornado and ping pong ball size hail. So that's pretty big size there. It's still radar indicated, rotation though, but now hail markers are beginning to show up, and we're seeing 1 inch size hail. It's way over 1 inch, but we know that. Pocket of rotation again to the east of McKenzie and to the south of Henry and to the southwest of Mansfield. That's the one Mike was talking about there, and over the city of Paris. And that's the other pocket of rotation, as we see that on radar, and we see it on all the radars. And
you can see those hail indicators. You've got the one right there at McKenzie. You got the one right there at Paris as well. Like you were talking about, they're basically about 1 inch size hail. So yeah, these are pretty serious. And like we said, we were talking about the fact these cloud tops have blown up so high. Once you get those cloud tops up around 30,000 feet, that's tapping into that super cold air, and you create that downdraft, and you get these spin ups of tornadoes really quickly. That storm we were talking about that is right now moving through McKenzie. You've got the one at Paris. These are both tornado active systems. So make sure you get in your place of safety now.
I'm going to switch one radar back over to the Memphis radar. That's the one thing. This makes me ill, and I wish we could just all lobby together and get this done. Get a radar ball for middle of West Tennessee. We have too many pockets. We can't see what's going on. You have to switch between radars on this stuff to get an idea.
Well, I'm feeding out of the one out of Millington right now because I've been trying to keep a track on what's going on out of Hardeman County, and that's the one that is fairly close. Let me track real quick, Brian. Again, those tornado warnings, they're up around McKenzie, Paris. If you're in any of those areas or to the east and northeast of those areas, get in your place of safety. I'm looking at this line of storms. Now, Brownsville just had another round of very heavy rain. That's just now starting to trek into Madison County. Let me zoom in on this because that had a hail signature as well. And it does. It's traveling basically, Brian, here we go again with I-40. That's that very heavy storm just went through south of Brownsville. It is tracking I-40 going to the north and east. That is already into the northwest portion of Madison County. That line of storms is going to be coming into the city of Jackson here in the next 15 minutes, if not earlier than that. As far as people south of us, let me zoom back down here. Fayette County right now, you're in the center of that. Hardeman County just now getting some stretches of that in the northwest portion. Again, Haywood County basically covered with this storm that is coming through. Northwest Madison County, and then if you want to track up north, of course, you got Gibson County that is in the middle of this right now. Has not drifted far enough to the east yet to get over towards Henderson County and Lexington or Chester County. You've got it coming, though. It's coming here probably in about another 30, 40 minutes, and you're going to start seeing those. But, again, those tornado warnings, 2 of them that are up there around McKenzie and Paris. And, Brian, I'm sure you've got a better updated radar on that area.
I was taking a look at some of the other stuff. As a matter of fact, we're getting some storm reports in. John Schofield has started feeling the effects out of North Jackson, and also CK has reported we have trees down and damage in Gibson County, and that's on Thetford Road off Highway 45E. So that's a couple of things that we're starting to see. I haven't got anything from the National Weather Service yet, and I'm sure they're still compiling their list for damage reports, and they haven't appeared yet, but those things will continue to show up. Let's see what we do have on the tornado warnings, though, since we're talking about this. So this just in. This is a new tornado warning. The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for northwestern Henderson County, southeastern Gibson County, northwestern Hardeman County, southwestern Carroll County, southeastern Haywood County, Madison County until 8:30. This was a whole 60 seconds ago. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Mercer, 10 miles southwest of Jackson, moving northeast at 50. Tornado and quarter-size hail indicated by radar. Folks in these areas: Jackson, Humboldt, Lexington, Fairview, Three-Way, Bemis, Blue Goose, Bargerton, Mercer, Parker's Crossroads, Carroll, Medina, Hickory Flat, Neely, Cedar Grove, Huntersville, Beach Bluff, Westover, Madison Hall, and Uptonville. Take cover now. If you're in the listening area, listening on 101.5, 96.5, 1310, or 103.5, you should be in your shelter right now. This is a tornado, I'll get out in a minute, a tornado indicated by radar with quarter-size hail. This tornado warning goes until 8:30 tonight. Now, there was some blinking going on up here. Let's see if there was an update. There is no update on the Carroll County, Henry County tornado warning yet, but we're going to go take a look at this radar. And
yeah, Brian, I was looking. That's the exact storm I was talking about that came out of the south area of Brownsville that was tracking I-40 towards the northwest. That's the one that I said that had that hail signature indication.
Yeah.
And it still does. That storm has intensified a little bit. That is moving. Let me take a look at this as it moves towards the northeast. Yeah, that the center of that storm where the hail signature is moving towards the northwest, just now starting into Madison County, and that is definitely going to be affecting between the city of Jackson and Three-Way. So right around, I would guess, close to the Casey Jones Village is where the center of this is right now as far as any kind of trek. That looks like where the center of that is going. So if you are in that portion of Madison County or in the city of Jackson, the north portion, anything north of downtown right now looks like it's going to bear the brunt of this part of that storm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you're taking a look at the Memphis radar and getting a better picture of what's going on down there. I'm looking up here at what's in Henry County at the moment. They have somewhat of a severe situation here. We've got winds blowing one way, winds blowing another, and winds blowing out. We've got 120 mile per hour combined winds here on this storm. It's blowing out toward the community of Old Springville, the Springville community. Now we've got rotation showing up on the radar pretty tightly right here. This is going to be in the Elkhorn community, which is out in the Tennessee Wildlife Refuge area out there, the watershed, Antioch Harbor, the Moons community, Oak Grove, Pine Point subdivision area. So this is all going out toward Paris Landing and also moving out into Benton County over Lick Creek and Stockdale and Big Sandy and these areas on the north end of Benton County. And there is definitely a ping pong ball size hail reported by radar in this. A severe thunderstorm warning also accompanies this storm, but we're definitely looking at some strong rotation here, and that is going to be along Elkhorn Road and also the road coming up from Big Sandy, which would be, well, that's also Elkhorn Road, but that's also Oak Grove Road South, which connects to Highway 79, going out to the 4-lane out there into the Oak Grove community. So all of this rural area out here, there's a lot of rural areas, there's a lot of campers, a lot of trailers, things of that nature. People need to be in some kind of substantial shelter. And then we even see even more rotation along Highway 79 in the Nobles community. It hasn't intensified as of yet, enough, and they haven't really said anything on that warning. But we're going to have to go back down here to Madison County. We're going to have to focus. And now we're starting to see tornado warnings in North Mississippi along this line. But let's get back to Jackson for a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, talking about Jackson, I am looking at this right now. That tornado warning, hail 1 inch in diameter. It's basically, when you think about that, when you think about 1 inch, that's basically quarter-size hail. But I'm looking at this radar right now. I switched over because I was looking at the one out of Millington. I'm still using that one, but I went over to a different radar signature, which is the Omega, to get basically a 3D version of the cloud that is coming into, and it is just now coming into the city of Jackson. You're getting some very heavy storms out around the Three-Way area. Let me bring up the, all right. I'm trying to bring up the video on this just to take a look at what is going on in that area. And, well, I can't see anything because it's a lot of lightning right now, but a lot of very heavy rain in the Three-Way area. The one that is just now approaching the downtown area of Jackson. If you're on the bypass between downtown Jackson and Three-Way, you're getting blown around right now because that system is just now moved into that area. South Jackson is just about to be under that as well. But this line is stretching again. Let me zoom back out a little bit on my radar here. And, it's showing still those two tornado signatures, one up there in between, actually coming out of McKenzie, headed towards the Paris area, as a matter of fact. According to this signature, it's showing that to be moving towards the south of Paris. Then you got the tornado warning that is in effect for Madison County. Let me get the latest on that. 34 minutes still left on that radar indicated tornado there in Madison County. That line stretches, Brian, basically all the way down, like you were talking about, from North Mississippi, from Byhalia. It's moved up through there. It's already moved through Collierville. This is moving up through just went through the area of Whiteville, Tennessee, in Hardeman County. It is just to the west of Bolivar. You can expect this storm line to move through Hickory Valley, Bolivar, Tune, Meaden, here in the next 15, 20 minutes. It's already made its way into South Jackson now. That's how fast this line is moving, Brian. I just said a moment ago, it hadn't really hit South Jackson yet. Yeah, now it has. That's how fast this thing is moving. We were talking about winds and speed over 70 miles an hour. You had winds up there over 100 miles an hour, right?
Right. Yeah, your combined winds toward and away from the radar in those couplets give you a better idea of the wind speed that's going on inside these storms. And let's see, we have plenty of things going on around the area. Mike, check your text for just a second. I'm going to pull this fader down, and we're going to rejoin here on the phone in just a second. You're listening to WNWS Jackson 101.5, also WBFG Parker's Crossroads Jackson 96.5, and on the legendary WDXI Jackson AM 1310 and 103.5 FM. This is Talk in West Tennessee, online at talk.westtn.com. We're powered by Golden Media. You can also check us out at WNWS.com. as we spin around here and push some buttons. I'm going to push that button, and then let's see if we can do this without hanging up on poor Mike. We have also on the phone. Whoa, he is not there. He's left us. We'll dump him. Let's try this again. We got Mike, you still there?
I am here.
Okay, we had another call coming in, but it went away. So let's see what we can see here. Let me try and figure what out's going on here. If you don't mind, just take it for a second there, okay?
Sure. Severe thunderstorm warning. By the way, I was looking at these polygons that are popping up here on the Omega radar. Still active tornado warnings that are in effect. There is one. Let me zoom back in on a little bit. It's going to expire in 31 minutes. Radar indicated tornado. That polygon stretches basically from McKenzie up through Henry and also up through the Paris area. So if you are in those areas, make sure that you get to a place of safety immediately. We also have, let me zoom back out a little bit here, a tornado warning that is in effect for, well, let me see, they may have canceled that one.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to right now.
That's computer for you. That's
yeah. Well, we did have the one in Madison County. There we go. Brian, you may want to check and see, but I'm not showing the tornado warning anymore for Madison County. I'm just still getting the one that is up there coming out of McKenzie and Paris. That one still shows 30 minutes left. But did they allow that tornado warning that was coming out of Jackson to expire?
Well, let's see. It does not appear. It does not appear in the list anymore. I do have this update. Let me pass this along to you. This was at 7:50, so we're just 4 minutes out of this. A tornado warning remains in effect until 8:30 for southeastern Weakley, northern Benton, northern Carroll, and Henry counties. At 7:57, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Paris Landing State Park. Mike, we were just talking about this a minute ago. Moving northeast at 50, tornado and ping pong ball size hail. Currently, there is no tornado warning for Madison County or Metro Jackson, but we do have some reports coming in. Law enforcement in Gibson County reported this at 35 after 7. There were trees knocked down. Well, this report did come in. Chesley King reported this. Trees were knocked down along Thetford Road. That was turned in. Also, some other reports. We had reports of damage in Fruitland and Bradford areas by the fire and rescue squad in Gibson County. And then right down the street, at least one home was damaged with several people trapped in a closet. This is from the National Weather Service, passed along to them by Gibson County law enforcement. That would have been along Highway 45E between Bradford and Milan. That would probably near the Idlewild community. Doesn't that sound right, Mike? I mean, I think so anyway. But
I think that is.
Well,
I'm looking at this line of storms. Again, stretching up out of Mississippi. This line now, if you're playing along with us here on where these storms are trekking, it is just now getting into northwestern Hardeman County. Whiteville just went through the extreme outer line of this storms. It has also moved into the Jackson area. Humboldt already went through the outer edge of this line. Now, that doesn't mean you're out of the rain, because the rain stretches way, way back over into Arkansas. So this is going to continue for a while. Just because you got through that front line of storms, you're still going to see the rain for quite a few hours. But Humboldt right now, they already went through this extreme line of storms. Again, we still have that tornado warning in effect. That is in effect for the area of McKenzie. 27 minutes still left on that. Just to the south of McKenzie, coming through the McKenzie area, south of Paris. It looks like, I don't know, Brian, if you're looking at your radar, but it looks like the center of where they had that active tornado warning out of Paris has got to be south of that area right now. It looks like it has moved kind of to the south, maybe out of the vicinity of the downtown area. But there is another signature that is in the extreme, looks like the extreme northwest portion of that same polygon that may be also pretty intense as well, where I'm getting some purple colors on that, which normally this is indicative of a very high cloud top. And that's where you can see, that's the same storm system, by the way, that spawned that tornado warning that was coming out of Gibson and Carroll County, and now moving up into Henry County. But I don't know. You'll have to look at that one as well, Brian. I think your radar may be a little more sophisticated than mine is at the moment.
No, it's a lot closer to the radar ball. Now I switch between Paducah and Memphis and also it's not Fort Campbell Air Force, but it's not that, but it's up to Hopkinsville. But it's looking right down the throat of this storm, and I'm looking at a couple of different little pockets as you were talking about. This is to the north of Big Sandy now, out over the river, where one of the they call it. Well, what I'm seeing is Ashbury Community and Cotton Patch Crossroads. That's a new one on me. So I've never actually said that one on the air before. But we're talking about Highway 232. This should be over the. Is this over the bridge at this point? Yeah, it has to be. It's over in Stewart County at this point. So it's pushing its way out of West Tennessee into Dover. So that thing will make its way into Dover, but we still have to get through Big Sandy, and we're still seeing quite a bit of rain. I say rain, excuse me, quite a bit of wind, gust on the front end of this. There's 102 out of the front of this thing, and we're just looking at standing in place velocity here. So and then it just updated again. It's 8:05 at Talkin' West Tennessee. Let's see what did they update anything on this? It's 7:57. We already talked about that though. But now we do have severe thunderstorm warnings for Houston, Humphreys, and Stewart County across the river. And Stewart County has its own severe thunderstorm warning. And let's see, Benton, Carroll, Henderson, that one is going to expire in 10 minutes. The severe thunderstorm warning for Benton, Carroll, and Henderson. Excuse me, that's not right. For Benton, Carroll, Henry, and Gibson and Weekly. So yes, it's all right. It's all this one line of storms. It's how it goes.
You were talking about that tornado warning. They are showing hail size of 1.5 inches, which is the ping pong ball size that you were talking about. That's the one that is moved out of the McKenzie area south into the east of Paris now. Yeah. That tornado warning is still effective, at least as of right now, for another 24 minutes. So if you were in the line of that, and I don't know, Brian, if you can look at your radar, it looks like the bulk of that heavier pockets of intense thunderstorm activity in that area, in that tornado warning, have kind of moved off towards the east of Paris now. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, it does appear that way. It looks like well, let me switch over to the other radar. I was looking at that one. It's on the approach of Big Sandy, on the north part of town, Springville and the old Springville community. It's just sitting on the doorstep of Big Sandy here. It will make its way across 69A highway. It's already crossed 641. In this polygon, we're still looking at, that one goes all the way to the Tennessee border. Everybody in the northern part of Benton County, Faxon, Bass Bay, Lick Creek community, what was that? Granny's Branch is out on the north end of the county there. And this place called, McKinnon is over in Stewart County. But it's right here all in the path of this area. The whole northern portion of that lit up quite a bit right there. We're still seeing quite a bit of wind come here. I'm telling you, Mike, we're talking about wind gusts up to 100 miles an hour. There was 90 there. It's kind of touch and go depending on what part of this storm you are, but the whole thing is blowing out in front of this whole front. It's pushing pretty hard.
I'm going to warn you in advance because I'm watching this radar, and I just went to the city of Bolivar camera on my computer to see, and man, we've got some very ominous clouds that have just moved into the city of Bolivar. Of course, I'm in Hardeman County, and I am to the east of Bolivar on Highway 64 in Hornsby, basically halfway between Bolivar and Selmer, and that line of storms just now starting to move into the city of Bolivar. So if I lose communication with you, that would be why, because we got these storms about to blow into where I'm at too, and hopefully I'll be able to give you kind of a firsthand account of what we're seeing on this end. I was dropping down, and you were talking about all this stuff coming all the way out of. As a matter of fact, I don't think that the people south of us are getting any favors down around Yazoo City, Mississippi. As a matter of fact, they have a tornado warning down there. So these storms stretch a long way. They basically, like you said, from the ocean, whatever we want to call it, that Gulf, basically all the way up through us, up into Kentucky and points northward. So this is a very, very long line of storms and thunderstorms. And I guess that's why they put us in the center of this, Brian, is because this stretch of line of thunderstorms, the intensity of it is much greater in this area. I guess most folks call it the juicy part of the atmosphere.
Right.
We are right in the middle of that right now.
Yeah. You were talking about all of this stuff. It's moving up the river, and it really is. We've been feeding this thing warmer temperatures in the south, but this warm front lifted up through here today, and they had been talking about that. But, I mean, for the most part of us, at least north of I-40, have been kind of in disbelief. Well, this stuff ain't going to hit us, I mean, we weren't thinking anything about that today, because everything, like I said, all of the recipe ingredients were just weren't matching up. We would see Cape here, but we wouldn't see lift here. We would see, well, this part of the atmosphere is stable. Well, clearly, that part of the atmosphere destabilized over the last couple of hours, and here we go. We've got a mess in the northern portion of West Tennessee, which, we just assumed, it was going to go to the south anyway, go across the southern counties, Shelby all the way over to Hardin County. But right now, looking at several different products, the most intense is in Henry County, crossing into Stewart County, and then we head back down to Jackson, where we're seeing quite a bit of cloud to ground lightning in this storm. It's not a safe thing for people to be out in this evening. But let's see, was there another update to that warning? Yes, there was. Let me plug this in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like the polygon is kind of closed in a little bit, but tornado warning, still that ping pong ball size hail. And it basically is, if I'm not mistaken, and Brian, you could probably get a better view of this than I can, but it looks like the polygon has collapsed a little bit, but it still basically includes points to the north and to the east of the city of Paris right now.
Yeah. I was getting an update. I think Dan Reeves is going to join us here in just a minute when he pots up the phone pot and turns it on and pots up mic one and starts talking into the mic. So he's going to be talking to us here in just a minute. Joining us, he's got an update or two down there. I think he's checking in with some, law enforcement and some other things too. We have had some hail reports come in from southern Madison County and the Meaden community. Radar is actually showing half-inch size hail in the storms that's passing through Westover and Bemis, Melissa's communities down here, and some quarter-inch size hail as well. But even larger hail as you get out towards Parker Crossroads and Cedar Grove. We've got 1-inch size hail coming in out there. Still pockets of rotation coming in. Well, this is the Memphis radar, so we're probably going to be good to look over to Hopkinsville if we're going to look at the northern portion of this storm. And now we're seeing 3 different tornado signatures on this radar in the Springville community, the Big Sandy community. Let me go back to the other radar so I can isolate these a little bit better. The one radar does not give me all the little towns here. So you're talking about Benton Cuts, the Lick Creek community. We have a house over there. And this is all on the northern part of Benton County, the Faxon community. The whole front end of this storm, heading into, from Paris Landing State Park, the river right there, all the way down to, little roads in the back roads up here, Bobcat Trail and Tiger Trail, and that's on the east side of the Tennessee River. Back down a little further south into Benton County, though, you get into, River Oaks Drive and these areas. This is all Lick Creek. This is the northern part of Benton County, Valentine Branch. So this is all hitting these areas right here. And we were taking a look at some other things going on this radar. We're still getting power outages and all over the place. I'm just assuming that this is going to be, lightning strikes and things like this. Again, there's a lot of positive lightning strikes that's taking place right now, all along the, all along this thing, Mike. And again, I want to say once again, if they are listening up in Henry County, Benton County, and even over in Stewart County, the McKinnon community, there's rotating thunderstorms up here giving 4s and 5s on the TVS signatures, and 1.5 size hail, 1.5 size hail, like you said, on the coming out of these storms. So it's very active. I know it's moving out of the listening area and all of this. We still want to be concerned, these severe thunderstorm warnings, though they could spin these tornadoes, up, with very little warning, and that's never a good thing. Let me zoom out of this right here. Like I said, most intense stuff still remains up in Benton County, but if you look back down here in the Clarksburg, you're looking at big wind gusts all the way along the front end of this line, all the way back down into Madison County, and that goes even beyond the view of the radar. So that's kind of where we stand right now here at 8:14 at Talking West Tennessee. You've been listening to wall-to-wall weather here this evening of all of the tornadic activity that's been going on. Mike Dole's on the phone, trying to figure out where Dan Reeves is. He's there. He's pushing some buttons, and he's there. Like I said, he was checking up on some stuff, and just getting some reports from everybody. Again, if you wanted to, I don't know how to do it now. I guess if you have a report, you'd have to call. I've got both lines tied up here. You have to call in 731-423-8101 if you have something that you need to report that's of an urgent matter. Your lights being out is not of an urgent matter. It'd probably be good if you didn't call to tell us that your lights are out. The electric company's already aware of it, I'm sure. But
Brian, I'm looking at the outage map right now here in the city of Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, everything seems to be holding together pretty good in the city of Jackson as far as power outages. I'm showing basically 6, 7, 9 people right now that are on the JEA circuit that are out of power, and most of that was from downtown. Well, basically from I-4, just north of I-40 down to South Jackson. So, I mean, the fact that we only have that amount of people out of power right now, I think speaks well for JEA.
Well, that's good news, because, if that's the case, then we may not have a lot to worry about unless this thing gets ramped up as it's leaving the county. I think Dan Reeves is finally going to join us if he is in there. Are you there, Dan?
Right up here.
Oh, good. Dan Reeves is on the phone with us, and also Mike Doles. Yeah, we're here. It's 8:16. What do you have for us this evening?
Well, other than Lake 101 out of the parking lot, it's the tornado sirens went off downtown for just a few minutes, and those have stopped. There's a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Jackson, Madison. That's still in effect, right?
A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for northeast Madison County. Dan, that goes into, they're reporting ping pong ball size hail out of that storm too about 10 minutes ago. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 9 o'clock. We haven't talked much about it, but it does enclose Decatur and Henry, Madison, Carroll, Benton, and Henderson County. So it's just a giant wide swath of all of this random weather that we're getting, from severe to light to lightning strikes to tornadoes. So, yeah, you're absolutely right about this thing's going to continue for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and the lightning, it's quite a lightning show downtown Jackson right now as well, but I heard Mike went down the electrical outlet outage here in Madison County, and everything's still up and running downtown, but there is a lot of lightning going on, Mike. What about you down in Bolivar? You okay?
Thank goodness it's just now reaching. I was looking at the Omega radar here, and right now I am still on the outskirts. It's just now starting to get into the city of Bolivar. So looks like, we're going to find out here in about 20 minutes how Mike fares with this thing, because it's just now, let me zoom back in on the Omega. Yeah, it's just now getting to the outskirts of the western portion of the city of Bolivar. Because, man, this thing stretches so far north, it is amazing how long this line of storms is. We've seen this in the past, but the northwest portion of the city, or in the Madison County, northwest portion, Madison County, is still under that severe thunderstorm warning. Nothing showing up as far as any kind of severe warnings this far south. We still have the flood watches and all that stuff that's in effect, and flood warnings. There's a flood warning we haven't really talked about, but that is for a good portion of Tennessee. We've got flood watches in effect for all of West Tennessee, but there's a flood warning that stretches over from Memphis, basically over into central Fayette County. But as this rain continues to fall, man, we're going to see a lot of places that are going to have road closures. There are going to be spots where the road is washed out. There are going to be trees that will come down due to the saturation of the ground, plus the strong wind that hits these things. But I can give you an update on what's going on with Mike here probably in another 15, 20 minutes, because this big, long line of storms is headed my way.
Yeah, you're right. And go ahead, Dan.
Mike, you might want to put on a helmet, man. It's sagging down that way.
I got my football helmet standing by.
Okay. I promise you that flood warning includes our parking lot here in downtown J-Town. The severe thunderstorm warning for northern Henderson County, Benson, Carroll, northeastern Madison County, southeastern Henry, northeastern Decatur, still in effect until 9 o'clock. That's the information I got, Brian. So we got West Tennessee covered here from Bolivar to here in Jackson and Bryan in northwest Tennessee. What's happening there now, Brian? But that's and with this thunderstorm here that I just read out, southeast of Milan, they were saying that this 60-mile-per-hour winds have been reported in ping-pong ball-size hail with 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and there's according to radar. What do you have, Brian?
Right. What we're looking at, and I'm back on the Fort Campbell radar because we're looking down the throat of this thing. But if we back up a few frames, the storm reports tend to come up here too and let us know that. And Chesley King also reported this evening. This was reported at about 7:30. Was this 7:35, or it might have been earlier than that? But this evening earlier, law enforcement in Gibson County reported many trees were knocked down along Thedford Road. First report came in to Talking West Tennessee from Chesley King there. At least one home was damaged with several people trapped in a closet. That would have been near the Idlewild community, be between Bradford and Milan. That was also reported by law enforcement. And just a little bit more to the north in Bradford, reports of damage in the, did I say in Bradford? Well, I guess it would be Fruitland and Bradford areas. It threw me off because there's a Fruitland community and there's another Fruitland community. So, but yeah, and it might have been both areas too that they reported to. So that's very possible. So in Gibson County Fire and Rescue, they just threw the icon on Bradford. That's why it was a little misleading, but both.
Well, no, Brian, Idlewild is just north of Milan, headed up towards Bradford. So that would not be out of line for the path of that storm.
Yeah. That fire and rescue squad reported those damage and trees down in both of those areas. And I tend to forget that Fruitland is also in Gibson County. It's just on the other end down there. So, a little bit further down the road. But that's the storm reports that come in. There was 1 3/4 size hail reported. Let's see. That was 1, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7. That was at 7:02. That was in Dyersburg earlier tonight. 1 3/4. So that's what, a little bit, just a hair size larger than ping pong ball. From out of Dyer County, and they had a heck of a time up there. Flooding also from the emergency management in Obion County, report of flooding around Lowe's in Union City. Boy, that was a mess they had. That was August of 2023 when that whole area went underwater, 100-year flood. So, you got to think back a couple of years here that this whole weekend has felt like 100-year flood, has it not?
Well, it is, and there's going to be a lot of cold air filtering in once these storms pass by, and a chance of some snowflakes as well. So, yeah, we're going to do it all in a very short period of time.
And Mike, are you still showing some rotation still up in Benton County? I still see a couple of tornado signatures on radar, but however, there are no tornado warnings that are active in Tennessee at all at this hour.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing the same thing now. We do have, with that storm system that just came through Jackson, if you want to drop south for a few minutes, there is still a pretty good size hail signature that is south of Jackson area that just went through, probably getting ready to go towards Pinson, maybe just to the north of Pinson. So if you're down in that area, you're going to probably see some hail signatures, or at least some probably pea-size, maybe a little bit larger hail in that area. And let me look at this other radar again. I'm bouncing between radars, kind of like Brian is here, going back and forth to see what we've got. Yeah, I'm still seeing that, which I think they still have the tornado warning, which is still in effect. I don't think that has changed. I think it's still there. They have not. They've not stopped or canceled that yet. Let me bring up the Omega radar here real quick and take a look at it. See what the signatures on it show right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still showing. Especially you were talking about up around the Dover area. There's a pretty good storm that has moved through there. It's now stretching down towards the south and the west, back over towards the Camden area. That storm system's just now ran through Huntingdon and back down towards the eastern portion of Madison County. So I'm not showing anything that is telling me that there is a tornado, but they have not canceled that tornado warning for that area.
Okay. I had
now we are under a tornado watch, which is different than a warning, of course. A tornado watch for Chester, Hardeman, Henderson, and Madison until 10 p.m. and still under that severe thunderstorm warning as well. Brian, but it appears as though Paris, that area up there, what Mike was just talking about, and then moving over towards Dover, maybe the hardest hit that we know about so far.
Yeah, you're right. When we started seeing this on radar a little bit earlier, it was very obvious. It was very clear that something was, was going down. We kept seeing these colors showing up a lot more brighter and brighter in some of these radar loops. And I was actually just going to pull it up and rewind this joker just a little bit. We're still seeing quite a bit of storm activity right there as far as the winds go. And as it's crossing over into Stewart County, there's a really thin line where you see winds blowing out away from the radar site and the winds blowing toward the radar site. And this, what are we looking at? This is just looking at the Paducah radar. I could switch over to Hopkinsville. The other ones here, I mean, we're still showing 70, 80 mile per hour wind gust along here. There's 86, there's 88. These are winds blowing out and away from the storm toward the east. Still plenty of wind in the back here. Now, south of Dover, there's a little spin up activity going on up there and some pretty heavy downpour too. But heading back down south, I see 106 mile per hour wind estimates to the north. This would be Clarksburg. So this would be in southern Carroll County and in northern, Henderson County. So, and again, this is another part of the storm that's notching in. It's making a notch in the line where it's breathing in air, basically, gaining some strength.
And Brian, in the areas you just covered are still under a severe thunderstorm warning until 9 o'clock. That includes Benton, Carroll, Decatur, and Henderson counties. Of course, 96.5, part of the Talkin West TN network, is right there in Henderson County, right there on I-40. We got a lot of listeners in that area. So you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, Henderson County, Decatur, Carroll, Benton counties until 9 o'clock.
And I want to add to this too, Mike. We have an update on that severe thunderstorm warning that came in just a couple of minutes ago. It remains in effect until 9 o'clock, so you have another 33 minutes left here. Northern Henderson, Benton, Carroll, northeastern Madison. And at 8:22, a severe thunderstorm was located near Huntington, moving northeast at 65. And radar clocked 60 mile per hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail. It's depending on what radar ball you're looking at. So this would be National Weather Service Memphis. They're kind of looking at the back end of it. But you can kind of see a different picture depending on which direction you're looking. But still, either way, it's dangerous enough wind. You don't need to be out here messing around in this stuff. You need to be in your safe place, and hopefully all your stuff is fastened down outside, to keep stuff from blowing around. The holiday community is next on the plate here, and then it's crossing into the Humphreys County, New Johnsonville, and the Eva community up here in part of Benton County, and then Waverly's going to be catching this up there, and our friends up in Waverly will be seeing this activity here soon. Lexington is in the path too. Go ahead.
Hey, Brian, look at the radar signature just south of Clarksburg, Tennessee, if you can, because there is and I'm not seeing any rotation in that yet, but sometimes when you see this notch of an inflow in these storms, and there is one just to the south and east of Clarksburg, just right on top, just about of I-40, between Henderson and Carroll County. Do you see that same thing on your radar there? Because I'm looking at the 3D imagery there, and it almost looks like it's trying to backflow back into that. And that sometimes those kind of things worry you a little bit when you're looking at these signatures on radar.
It definitely does, Mike. When we're looking here at Parker's Crossroads in Wildersville, and we're just looking at some of the information coming back from that particular cell, it's given us a 3754, which is pretty strong rotation for this particular cell. And when you're talking about the inflow, it's got that notch. It's sucking that wind in there. Yeah. Yeah,
and if you look back towards the Brewston area, you can see how it's flowing back into that, because I'm seeing cloud tops there that are topping out close to 25 to 30,000 feet on the 3D imagery here. So it's showing that it's trying to feed back into this thing. Now, we're talking about north of Lexington here, just south of the Clarksburg area. And like I said, that's right on top. Let me zoom back in a little bit on this. That's right around the Wildersville, Rock Springs area, like you just said. And you can see, Brian, on your radar, I'm sure that if you look just to the north of that, you'll see those cloud tops there south of Brewston. Man, that thing is starting to fire back up again up there.
Yeah, you've got several notches in this area. You're talking about them specifically here. Big old notch here in northern Henderson County, but just up the street here to the north and west of Holiday, you're talking about another inflow notch, and you're already seeing 1 3/4 size hail in this storm that's approaching Holiday here in Benton County. Camden, the city of Camden, has a notch in it. You are seeing a little bit of wind coming in that area, but they're really the radar, the very smart, intelligent Doppler radar is cranking out this severe rotation marker in the neighborhood of Holiday and Parker's Crossroads along I-40 here. So yeah, people who are in these areas need to be, concerned. It's not a tornado warning, but then again, you've got to keep an eye on this stuff. And look, guys, we're still taking the storms past Weakley County here. We're still taking lightning strikes out here, and thunder and all kinds of other stuff. Clarksburg, though, Wildersville, it just echoes into the mics. It's so loud. Rock Springs, these areas right here, Brewston, y'all are catching all of this wind here. Again, it's blowing out away from it, but now you have these inflow notches that where this storm is basically hitting more energy, going into pockets of unstable energy here. So you've got more potential energy to burn up.
Yeah, I'm watching of course, I swapped from the Hopkinsville radar back down to Millington, because that's the one I've got to kind of keep a look at, because it's just now gone through the center of Hardeman County, is heading towards me. Yeah. So I've got to watch my trees out here in the front yard. But, man, that line, we were talking about how long that line of thunderstorms is, and there are tornado warnings well south of Tennessee down into Mississippi, because that's where it's basically at now. Thinking about our man Kiefer, who's down there in New Orleans. I'm sure they're having fun with Mardi Gras and everything that's going on. But that line of storm stretching all the way up through Mississippi, up through Holly Springs, it just went through there. It is up, just now went through Bolivar. It is now just to the east of Henderson, also to the east of Jackson as far as the line it goes. Just now approaching the city of Lexington. It has already gone through Huntingdon, but we're still seeing some of these storms kind of fire up on the backside of some of these things as they go through. Now, you got to worry about the front end of it more than anything else, especially around Dover. Let's look at that again, Brian, because up around the Dover area, and I understand that is extreme north West Tennessee, but that city of Dover has just seen some very serious storms come through there.
Yeah, what we're looking at, got it on this radar picture over here. the wind gusts are still, phenomenal as far as what's coming out of the storm. But when you're sitting here tracking it, I mean, you're seeing a good notch of wind being taken back into the storm, reversed back into Dover here. Some of the most intense rainfall, which causes a lot of friction in the atmosphere, as you know, is taking place right here in this particular part of the storm. This is the same storm that come up through Henry County and through Paris where there was a tornado warning. Now, they don't have, yes, they do have a tornado warning, or is it, no, that's a new tornado warning for, that is for in Mississippi down there. Sorry about that, guys. No, this is where the warm front is currently sitting. If you're watching the radar map, the warm front is sitting across right here. It kind of cuts off the southern part of Henry and Weakley County and goes across and up towards Montgomery County and Clarksville. But where all of this activity is, if you'll look, some of the most friction in the atmosphere is going right here. The storm is kind of getting a little more energy. It's, as it goes into the night, it's going to cycle back and forth a little bit, and it will end up in a pocket of stable energy where what they call the cap is back on. But for the time being, everybody's getting the wind right now. You were talking about this other notch of wind up here that is going through Dover right now. That's a highway. That's Highway 49, which runs from Dover to Bear Spring and over near the river area right there. And it's heading on its way to Indian Mountain, Highway 46, up that way. 79 highway from Dover all the way into Montgomery County. You all are next in this. But now, even if you look back down into West Tennessee one more time, Mike and Dan, you're looking at Big Sandy. Now we're picking up some more friction right there, and you're still picking up. There's a couple of pockets right there of winds blowing toward the radar and away from the radar. 93 mile per hour gust right there, and you add that to 20 to it. So you've got pretty strong wind gusts. The only thing about it is why they say, okay, well, radar detects 60 mile per hour wind gusts, but they don't have official weather station in some of these places to detect the wind gusts, to report an official wind or whatnot. So, you got to base it on radar and the rain falling and the best thing the algorithm can crank out. It's all an algorithm, but, that's the best forecasting does not come from algorithms. Go ahead.
I think the best thing we can say right now is the bulk of the severe storm warnings have moved out of the immediate area, at least for West Tennessee. We still have that one that is in the extreme northeastern portion of Madison County that is over into the Henderson County area, stretches up into Carroll County, over into Benton County, southern Hardin County as well. But as far as anything past that, we have watches. We still have the tornado watches in effect. They will probably back off of that here in the next little while, I would imagine, because even though the main storms have started to move through and out of the way, this rain, by the way, folks, this is why that flood watch remains in effect, because that's still a very serious thing. Let's not delegitimize that at all, because that rain stretches all the way back basically to Harrisburg, Cherry Valley, Wynn, Forest City, Arkansas, and those areas. That rain is that far to the west of West Tennessee. So this line of storms, even though that's what we worry about more than anything else, most of the time is the fact that we have so much of the storm activity. We also have to worry about all this rain and these creeks and rivers and everything else overflowing. So that's why those flood watches and warnings are in effect for a good portion of this area. It's not just the storms, it's the water as well.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as we've seen, we've had flood warnings, flash flood warnings, one after another. And we talked about earlier this morning. Go ahead, Dan. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. That's all right. Hey, we were talking about all that this morning. I actually had a family member to get caught up in a flash flood. He did not make it. It's been some years ago down in Perry County. But when you're that close to water, it's definitely not a good thing to. It's definitely not a good thing to be around that. You need to be aware of it, especially have these weather radios and have a way to get push notifications or whatever, your weather preference is. I mean, we just live in that particular part of the country where you got to have it.
Hey, Brian?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, Chuck on the line here. Chuck is out at I-40, right around Parker's Crossroads. Chuck, what's happening out there?
We had super strong winds. Trees was cracking and blowing over. It's calmed down a little bit. There were 2 waves of it earlier, just a few minutes earlier. But we have pasture, so we're going to have a lot of fence to check tomorrow because we heard a lot of trees cracking and blowing over.
Okay, now, Chuck, you're located just north of I-40, right there at Parker's Crossroads. Is that correct?
Actually, we are just west of exit 101 and just south of the interstate, about 3/4 of a mile.
Okay, Chuck. Hey, thank you very much, Chuck. Appreciate you calling. So there you go. And I heard Mike say that Keeper is in New Orleans. Back in town, he may be missing a trampoline. And somebody may have a new one. But yeah, Brian, that was part of that area that you were talking about. You and Mike, kind of the tail end, was stretching down from Paris and then Dover and all. It seemed like that may have been the heaviest storm activity tonight here in West Tennessee. Please,
to
this point.
I was looking at still right now Cumberland City and moving through Montgomery and Stewart County and the Erin community. I still see a level 5 tornado signature on the back end of the radar here. Mike, what are you seeing now? Back down in Holiday, we had a concern a while ago. This storm is notching in down here as it moves through Benton County and into Decatur County here in a minute. Mike, what are you tracking?
Yeah, let me zoom in on this. Yeah, you're talking about south of the Camden area, right?
Yeah.
To the east of Clarksburg. There's a bowing effect. If you look at that signature on the radar, Brian, from Lexington up towards Huntington, there's a big bowing effect as this storm. That's where you get those really strong straight line winds. When you see that big bow out in the front, that means that's that frontal, that wind that's trying to push through there. But if you drop down, I still see that notch that's south of Brewston that is heading up towards the Highway 70 area and trekking towards Camden. I also see a very high cloud top in that same system that is to the south and west of Camden. So basically between Brewston and Camden to the south, that's heading over. And you're right, it's heading over towards that Holiday area. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that looks like something that they need to definitely keep an eye on.
Yeah, and before I throw it back to Dan here in just a second, I was looking at the Holiday storm, and we were kind of watching this here on the radar a little bit. Looks like a new thunderstorm warning has been issued for Humphreys County and the town of Waverly, New Johnsonville, McEwen, and Bold Spring over there. But the storm at Holiday, where we're seeing this low level, pretty strong rotation, low level. I mean, it's speeding up. We're getting 66 one way and 40 another. And we're seeing it's just a strong wind gust in a rotation form, right? So, these things combined together, I mean, you're getting up to 100-mile-per-hour winds, but you still have that element of lift. We saw in what they call lower-level jet, we still have this element of lift, all across West Tennessee with pretty much the Mid-South that's causing these things to spin up. They're going to spin up, and a lot of times we have a lot of spin up. I was just looking at Fort Campbell radar here. You want to talk a little bit further up the river where the majority of this storm is now. The level 5 tornado signature is still on the radar in the Erin community right there. Cumberland City and Oakwood, still the front end of this storm that's passing through these areas. They're showing some mid-level rotation. So some, rotation up in the middle of the atmosphere here and some low-level stuff just to the north and west of Clarksville. So this storm continues to spin into the night, but at the moment, the majority of tornado warnings is going to be in central Mississippi now, which is, I guess this would be down in the communities of, probably nothing we would, recognize around here, but the Carrollton community. And this is going to be moving off also toward the east, and will probably be up into the Huntsville community before the night's over with. I would say probably around midnight. And again, if you had looked at the Storm Prediction Center stuff throughout the day today, you saw that most of the Mid-South, especially West Tennessee, was covered in this hatched area. Where, okay, well, anybody in this area is going to get a tornado tonight, basically is what they were saying. But in the latest forecast that they came out with, let's see, that's 4. So about 5 o'clock this afternoon, 4 o'clock roughly, they lowered that hatched area to central and southern Mississippi and southern Alabama. Now that those people are going to have a little bit more severe weather happening this evening. The wind threat was still great. We still had moderate wind risk across the entire Mid-South this evening. Higher risk in eastern Mississippi, east central Mississippi, and west central Alabama there. And the hail risk, we just didn't have all of the elements to create any sizable hail conditions, I guess. Storm Prediction Center, by the way, is also talking about a new tornado watch, which will possibly come into play anytime, probably about 9 o'clock or after that, for a good chunk of Mississippi and a good chunk of Alabama as this system moves across. So if you happen to be traveling down through there, going to Savannah, going to, Tupelo or wherever you might be out tonight, hopefully you're not. Hopefully you're in your shelter somewhere, just taking it easy tonight. But just be aware of all of this stuff as it moves through. And you know what, gang? From every report that I have, it hasn't been terrible. We've had a lot. Everything tonight has been radar indicated. No spotters have really reported anything in tornadic. They haven't seen any funnel clouds. Of course, it's hard to see in the dark anyway. But I think it's a lucky thing that most people have come out of this unscathed. There's been a little property damage, as we've seen in some of the storm reports, and we're still getting 1.25 inch size hail reports in Benton County out of the holiday storm. But according to our radar picture, that storm appears, gang, to be breaking up, segmenting itself a little bit. And
I think we're probably going to see, Brian, more than anything else. I think there will be some wind damage in some places. Yeah. I think we're going to see more than anything else is just we're going to see a lot of flooding, and we're going to see probably some straight line wind damage, trees down, things of that nature. That line is just now moving into my area. As a matter of fact, I got very heavy rain here and just some thunder in the distance. But that's what I worry about right now more than anything else for West Tennessee, just to the east of the Tennessee River, is we're going to see a lot of rain because that rain, if you look at the radar, that rain still stretches well back into Arkansas. And that's going to continue for the next, quite a few hours. And so you're going to see some major flooding in some areas. You're going to see people that have somewhere between 3 to 5 inches of rain, if not more. And you're going to see the flooding of creeks and rivers and things of that nature. Some of these side roads could be washed out. So I worry about that right now more than any kind of storm damage because I don't. The bulk of the storms have now moved through most of West Tennessee as far as the line itself. But now we got a whole lot of rain to worry about over the next several hours.
I was trying to get go ahead, Dan. Yeah, I was going to throw it to you.
It's tomorrow morning at around 5 o'clock, chance of snow. And right now we're sitting at 61 degrees.
Don't be talking like that. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and by the way, Brian, it's politically incorrect to say Big Sandy these days. It's full-figured Sandy when you refer to. But yeah, it's a lot of rain. Mike's right. We've had a lot of rain. There's a lot more rain to come. And the threat of flooding is real because there's a long way to go. The severe weather, the squall lines move through, but water does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it does. Let me give you some totals. Let me give you guys some totals. You ready? Okay.
Let me bail out of this, Brian. I think you guys have it covered, and I'm gonna go and watch the pour down rain for a little while. But appreciate you guys checking in with all the coverage tonight.
You're good as gold, man. Appreciate it, Mike.
Yes, sir.
See you, Mike.
All right, Mike Dole's right there, live from Hardeman County, and here we are. We're all linked together. Dan Reeves on the line here, and Dan, I'm going to give you some of these rainfall totals from the. Let me get it out of the. Let me get out of the Memphis area here. Some of this is going to be conflicting and overlapping, but you got to do the stuff that's closest to the radar. So the things along the Mississippi River when it was coming across this evening, Ripley and Covington, total out of this storm, 6 inches of rain. That's about what they were guesstimating anyway. 3 from Alamo, Brownsville, all the way down to, 2.5. Memphis, I mean, if you go from Wynne, Arkansas, and this is where we talked about this earlier, 6.5 inches of rainfall in Wynne, Arkansas, Earl, Terrell, up through that's Wilson, Arkansas, there in Kaiser, across from Osceola, 6.5 inches of rain in Lauderdale County itself. Now we change to the other radar ball that's north of there. That would be Paducah. Dyersburg got 4.5 inches of rain this evening at least. And we're looking at 4.5 in Martin, about 3.5. I haven't even looked out the back window here, Dan, at the weather center. We've been sitting here since we've been doing this whole time, and we didn't get a lot of rain during the storm part as we did in the last 24 to 36 hours. It's just been coming down. Everything's saturated. That's why earlier this morning, before I even got on the air at 7:00, that we were seeing these flood warnings and flash flood warnings. I mean, the banks are out of the Obion River, at Martin and over at Union City. And we see Montpelier Road in Weakley County on the way over to Obion County and the Reeves community. It was underwater. We saw those pictures on social media. They got a ton of water in the last day. So all of this rainwater and stuff coming down. But, here in Jackson, in Madison County, maybe 2 inches of rain. Maybe 1.5 inches here and there. And then in Lexington, we didn't get a lot down through here, at least not yet. Now, we continue to watch our radar pictures and continue to pick up all kinds of thunder in the background. It's a mean storm out there. It's still ongoing, but the severe part of the storm right now, there is the first tornado signature I've seen out of North Mississippi, just to the north of Oxford, on the county line there. That would have been Lafayette County and Marshall County, Mississippi. That's the first one I've seen out of North Mississippi, but otherwise we still see strong rotation markers all across this northern portion of the storm in West Tennessee, all the way from Benton and Humphreys County down the the Tennessee River, down through Decatur County. Decatur County is just now about to get this storm activity, and there's some rotating pockets of wind in here too. It's not a guaranteed tornado. At least that's what the radar is reporting back. And there's some strong rotation up and around Holiday. This is a storm that Mike was tracking a while ago, and we continue to look at. There's 2 or 3 pockets of rotation there along the front of this storm. Still blowing out quite a bit, 80, 90 mile per hour wind gusts in these, and producing some hail out of this too as well. But it has been a very active evening, and all at once it just popped up. That cap come flying off. Now, one thing that I have noticed is that there are some power outages in Lauderdale County, at least what's been officially reported. And that was updated maybe 20 minutes ago. And so we've got that there on record for sure. Lots of positive lightning strikes still in the storm that's not even the severe part of the storm, all the way back to the Mississippi River, positive lightning strikes. It's just very juicy atmosphere, as you were saying earlier, Dan. This severe thunderstorm warning that still continues, and the lights are still blinking here. Here we go again. I got to buy a generator one of these days. Actually, I have one. It's just.
I recommend Lindsay Electric.
That's a good place to go. Yeah,
they do power. They do. Well, okay, Brian. Yeah, this thing stretches from Youngstown, Ohio, down to Beaumont, Texas. That'll give you an idea how big this system is. And Kiefer down at Mardi Gras. He's going to get the tail end of this, so he's not getting out of this without getting hit just a touch. He may not feel it, though. By the time he gets there, he should be numb, got at Mardi Gras all day. But, quite a system. That's through. Yep.
That's very true, and I was just going back and looking through messages and whatnot, and I really don't see any reports coming in on that particular line over there. I'm going to check one more thing, though, before we jump out of here and bail out this evening, just to see if anything has come through. And we've had listeners all over the place.
While you're checking that, Tomorrow, we're going to be in the low 30s, and winds out of the northwest gusting up to 30 miles per hour tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be brutally cold because this cold air filters in once all this pushes through tonight. So,
look, I'll tell you this, my swimming pool, what a day. My 26-foot wide swimming pool was down about a foot, and now it's spilling over. It's caught that much water today, and now we're going to freeze it, turn it into a giant ice cube, and that's all right with me because I have no control of it. So
next week's going to be brutal.
We can take the polar plunge next week. I got a swimming pool. We'll do that.
Well, Thursday night, overnight, we're going to dip down to 8 degrees. And we top out Thursday at 20. Overnight, 8 degrees. So once we dip below freezing Wednesday or Tuesday night, we won't rise above freezing till Sunday.
That's no fun. I think that's But you know what? If this is a precursor to anything, it's about to happen in spring, because spring's March 21st, and a lot of stuff even gets ramped up before then. It's going to be a long spring.
Well, it's weather patterns have changed. It's February showers bring March flowers these days.
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes December.
That's right. And see what the time change is March the 9th, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, okay, Brian, it's all quiet here in Jackson right now. We got out here next to Lake 101, our parking lot is, they call it ponding.
Yeah.
So this is laking here. But quite a bit of rain, still got quite a bit of rain to go. But the severe weather is pushed. Still dealing with it in parts of Henderson counties. It pushes on through, but most of it's moved off to the east of us here from our Talking West Tennessee World headquarters.
And I'll send you a sump pump so you can get home tonight. We'll pump that lake out. How about that?
That sounds great. Brian, great job tonight with you and Brian Thomas, very own Brian Thomas, and Mike Doles.
Yeah.
We had West Tennessee covered.
We got it covered. We did it right here. It's Talking West Tennessee. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Mike. Thank y'all for calling in and doing this thing.
Thank you, sir, for heading it all up, Brian. Have a good night, and I'll talk with you soon, my brother.
You too, pal. Here we are. It's 8:56. This is Talk in West Tennessee. Severe weather coverage. Fingers crossed. Nothing else going on tonight. We're going to hang in there like a hair in a biscuit and ride it out like we would any other storm. And here we are. You're listening to WNWS Jackson, WDXI Jackson, and WBFG Parker's Crossroads Jackson. This is Talkin' West Tennessee.